Also, you always talk about a drifter saying "all right, all right."
Yeah.
Nobody gets it because he tells you what you're fighting in the game mode. So he just goes, "All right, all right, all right. Let's see what we got. Cabal on the feet." I'm like, God damn it.
By the way, I just want to point out we're entering Winnie the Pooh territory, and
What?
Yep. I talked to Merlin. Now we're going to Winnie the Pooh. It's literally just a book that he has, and we visit it once in every game. I genuinely really like Winnie the Pooh world.
We need to make sure that we get all of the things. I think the first time we go here.
No, I know. I think I remember where the
I think there's 9 of them, but I can double check for you.
Hold on. I'm gonna look up Lucky Emblems Winnie the Pooh.
You okay?
Fuck yeah.
Hello there, Sora.
I don't think there's a lot
Also,
here because it's a really small world.
Also,
good to see you,
Alex
And
watched
you
my
too,
video
Piglet.
and called it early philosophy tube. And
You're not in trouble.
Aww.
Something must be going on.
Thank you.
That's the nicest thing anyone could say.
I don't remember anything oddish, but perhaps I
Oh, I loved her old videos so much. Her new ones are obviously amazing, but
Yeah.
you know, just cute little Abby with her baby face talking to the camera about philosophy for an hour. It was a good time.
I just want to point out, so for some reason in Winnie the Pooh, in this one, they have heffalumps.
Please continue.
No one acknowledges the fact that heffalumps were a object of terror, but now there's just a there's just a heffalump here who talks like a Dickensian orphan for some reason, and everybody's cool with it. This is one of the main reasons people have Sleepy Boy theory.
He's my friend.
What?
Sleepy Boy theory is that everything is a dream.
And I'm Lumpy. Isn't
And
that
I'm
What is-
Lumpy.
what?
Nice to meet you.
What?
That's what Lumpy sounds like.
What?
Sleepy Boy theory is a 353-page theory.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a short theory. I'm betting most of those pages are just like proof of theory.
I mean, like, whatever. I don't know.
If we get to 5,000, I will, not on this stream, but in a follow-up stream, sit down and read the entirety of Sleepy Boy theory.
Are you sure about
Start to
this?
finish in a single setting. Yep.
Do it, man.
Apparently, Lumpy is
$5,000
from one of the
on
Pooh
stream.
movies.
I read stuff on stream sometimes. That's a very bad idea. That is too much to read at one time.
Uh-huh.
But also, Lumpy talks like a Dickensian orphan. My name is Lumpy. I don't know why. Me too. I want to bounce. Why does he talk like this?
I'm pretty sure they like Lumpy's a character in more recent.
That's what Space Panini says, so it's probably true. I haven't seen a ton of the Winnie the Pooh movies, especially the recent ones.
I haven't seen anything beyond like 10 years ago, so
Yeah, so like, I wouldn't know. But I
You guys
just,
don't have children in your life.
that's just soft
not
coffee.
anymore. I don't babysit like I used to, and the kids I coach are usually teenagers, so no.
Yeah, I can tell. That's all I was saying, is you guys really don't have children in your life. It's fine. You don't have to have children in your life to have good lives.
Well, so a big part of Sleepy Boy theory is specifically that nobody is freaked out by the existence of a heffalump, despite the fact that heffalumps only existed in Winnie the Pooh's dreams. That's a big part of dream theory.
Please.
I thought that was the point of the movie that this lump showed up in, so
I don't know, but it would be really funny if dream theory is disproved because of some Winnie the Pooh continuity. That would be really funny. Like they did all of this fucking research on Kingdom Hearts, but they couldn't like figure out Winnie the Pooh continuity.
Let's see.
I like that. Also, let me just run around and get the lucky emblems I know about. Sora, get your camera.
See. Hey, I think that's a lucky emblem.
I love how
Sure is,
Instagram
bud.
a thing in Disney World, a canonical thing.
Nice.
Yep.
Oh god.
Also,
Exhausting.
now I'm just gonna double check. Yep, there's only 3. Okay. Cool. I'll double check in the gummy phone because it shows you if you've got them all.
The gummy bear.
Yep, we're good. We're good on Winnie the Pooh. And now I'm going to do some mini games. Here we go. Oh wait, I need to
Dad
do them
just
in
brought
order.
me a cup of tea, and
Some mini games,
So
so
nice,
some Ben
yes.
Shapiro games.
Oh no, Oh no! Oh god!
Let's just say, hypothetically, if they made tiny me. 6 feet were ridiculous. I don't know why I gave him like little kid voice on top of his normal voice, but
I don't know why these decisions were made.
I have to share with you guys a just fucking phenomenal YouTube channel. 1 second. It's so good.
Let's get gardening.
I have to find it and I'll link it in chat.
I see.
I would rather not say.
I'm afraid.
I don't like that.
Oh dear?
I am currently doing a mini game, so I can't look at whatever bad thing is happening right now.
Maybe we did a bad thing.
Get out of here! Do it bad!
Alright, here it comes. Be warned, this channel is small and incredibly
Okay, no, there's not anything in
You watch
text.
tech videos on YouTube again?
God damn.
How dare you?
What? What is happening right
I'm playing Drifter.
now? I don't. Okay.
What? 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 No!
What is happening? What is happening?
Ben Shapiro, glow up. Ben Shapiro, hot muscle flexing. Ben Shapiro, growling and flexing his muscles.
What the fuck is happening right now?
Mila, no!
117.
Where is this happening?
What?
What is happening? Where is this happening? What is happening?
2 months.
Somebody tell me something that makes
It's
sense.
a link in Twitch chat to a YouTube channel called Rachel Star Ben Shapiro Flexing Things, and that's the name of the channel.
Thank you.
I can't. I can barely function already. I can't handle that. I don't have the capacity to take that in. I definitely do not have the mental capacity for that.
I don't have the mental capacity for that right now.
This is what triggers you.
How?
You've left the one behind.
How did they have 4,000 views on their first video?
Ben Shapiro was a waste of a perfectly good twink, that's how.
That's, I mean, this is true.
Mila, you can't say these things.
I can too, it's an opinion. What's it gonna do, sue me?
No, I'm worried that someone else is gonna be mad.
So I'm playing Gambit right now.
Chat, if you are mad about how Ben Shapiro, Shapiro takes, I need you to tell us exactly what we have done wrong in the form of a donation to Trans Lifeline. Make some good come out of our horrendousness.
Holy shit.
It was my turn to deal psychic damage.
You have succeeded in doing that.
I can't even actually watch any of those videos. I think I started to get partway through one when he was like, "Oh, Rachel, you already missed the gun show, but I guess I'll flex for you." I was like, "Nope,
Oh god.
I gotta leave.
No.
I gotta get out of here." But just knowing this video exists.
I'm so annoyed right now. Okay, so I'm playing Gambit, and I just had like the most useless teammates, and I almost single-handedly won the match anyway, but then I died to a fucking physics glitch. God damn you guys.
Oh.
But also, I did the most badass fucking thing. So, Gambit's a game mode where it's 4v4, and you are like it's like PvE but also PvP. So each team is like trying to clear out enemies, and the enemies drop moats, and you bank the moats in the middle of the map.
Space Panini, did you just learn for the first time who Ben Shapiro is?
No.
I'm sorry, I just saw that in text, and I can't type in text because I'm playing a stupid game. But Space Panini, did you just learn for the first time who Ben Shapiro is? Because I'm really sorry you know now.
We have
Listen,
made a mistake.
He's a horrible little let me just make this clear. He's a horrible little goblin boy, and the fact that I cannot help but feel affection for him because he is a short little man, it's a character flaw.
Because he is a wasted twig. Yes.
Yeah, he's just a horrible little shit. But sometimes you just like short guys and you can't help it.
I do have to like. I'm quitting YouTube. I'm done. I've been running my channel for 14 months, and I have just over 100 subscribers. This channel has been running for 2 months and has 200 subscribers, and it is just horrible, wasted twink goblin Shapiro flexing and growling.
What's so funny is we put the camera down all low so he looks bigger, but Ben Shapiro, like, I met him once. He's tit height at best.
Why did you meet him? Also, I'm sorry that you met him.
It was an accident. He was talking at my friend's college, and she was like, there's a lot of chats here, and I'm trans and scared. Would you pick me up after class so I'm not alone? And I was like, okay. And we took a back hall to go around people because she wasn't interested. Like, we did not want to meet Ben Shapiro, but he came out of a random door with some security guards, and we like stopped, and I couldn't help myself because he was so much shorter than I expected. And I was like, holy shit, he's so little.
Did you say that out loud to his face? Please say that you did.
I did. And he had like done that like, oh, fans recognize me kind of tense smile, but as soon as I said that, his eyebrows dropped into that lime expression.
Yes! That's the best part of this entire story, is that you met him and immediately owned his fucking shitty ass because you know he doesn't want to hear that he's short. You know he doesn't.
I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just overwhelmed with how short he is.
But you know he probably hates that shit because he's all manly man bullshit. Gonna flex for my woman.
Can we just acknowledge that Neela fucking owned Ben Shapiro?
I don't know. He just walked away
on a college campus.
Didn't say a word.
But it's the same bullshit that he usually pulls on people. But you did it way better than him, and I that's such a fucking power move.
And it's better because you did it by accident. That's the most incredible part.
Oh,
Neela.
no.
Also, Exile, Neela is redeemed because she's my friend. The same way you are redeemed in spite of the cursed fucking shit you have put in this chat. Because I know you,
okay.
and you're my friend.
I admit my
Alex?
character flaws.
Lady Knight says that he loves you.
Aww.
What's happening?
Alex messaged me to tell you that he loves you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. I hope you're doing well, Alex. I hope you're taking good care of your body.
Yeah.
We weren't kidding. The Chaos Siblings pet is 90% just like, I love you. I care about you.
I'm bad at saying things like that, but I'll say thank you when they're said to me.
We're just dunking on Ben Shapiro. That's what you missed while you were gone.
Yeah, that and like
I understand.
occasionally crying about some anime boyfriends. That a bit too. Depending on when you stepped out, that probably happened as well. Because we're
Also-
getting near endgame stuff.
Ben Shapiro claims to be 5'10", but he's like a foot shorter than me, and I'm 6'3", so...
Oh, we know for a fact
Ben
that
Shapiro is not 5.
Ben Shapiro's like 5'5", I think. Someone measured him one time.
That I hate that sentence.
He's about tit height on me, so let me just get a measuring tape here.
According to
Like this very casually, and it breaks me.
5'6", according to celebheights.com.
Do we trust them though?
But he has
really?
5 foot energy, even if he is 5'6".
He really does.
Steve Hofstetter says 5'4".
I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
No
I'm
idea.
picturing. I think about
I'm
5'3"
pretty
is
sure
right.
he's about 5'5". I think
Yeah?
he's 5'5". I've
5'3",
seen
5'5"?
multiple people who've met him say he's 5'5", so I'm gonna go with that.
All right, so that means he's a full foot shorter than I am.
Well, October oddity, he
and
does have
now-
410 energy.
I just want to go and
What does that mean?
stand next to him and lean on his head
You could rest
In
your
that-
coffee cup on his head like in an ant.
very easily.
He always cuts
So-
his hair all flat too.
He does. So here in Australia, we have a particular chud who's in our parliament. His name is, was in our parliament. His name is Malcolm Roberts. And I got invited to talk about climate change with this person at some point.
I'm very sorry.
Senator Malcolm Roberts, when he is sitting in his seat and is like vociferously debating things, affects this particularly macho air. And it's laughable in and of itself because he has nothing like going and none of the introspection that goes into masculinity. He is just a Queenslander hillbilly, essentially. But then I met him and I realized that he was less than 5 feet tall and was standing on a lectern while he was presenting.
Oh my god.
And so when I went up and I shook his hand at the end, again, I'm 6'5".
Okay.
You know when Trump was meeting world leaders and did the jerky, power handshake? I went and did the jerky power handshake with this
This is definitely
tiny human.
This is definitely a weird 3 a.m. thought. But you're 6'5", and now I want to get a piggyback ride.
Wait, you're 6'5"? I'm used to being the tallest one in the room. I don't like this. If we were in person, I would distrust you.
I am 6'5". I ate my Weetabix growing up.
Yeah, I think that's a thing about being tall, though. Is like every time I meet someone taller than me, I'm like, who the fuck said you could be up there? What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing up there?
Yeah.
How
I-
fucking dare you?
So I'm like 5'9"-ish. 5'9.2" or something. But anyway, I can't remember exactly. I vaguely remember when it's meant. I haven't been measured in a while, so, and I know I've grown a bit, but I don't know where I'm at. But I used to be a rower, right? And I was a lightweight, and I used to compete in the fucking heavyweight category. So I want you to picture a bunch of 6'4" hyper muscly boys, and then this fucking skinny muscular 5'9" beside them, and you're like, oh, that kid's gonna get their ass kicked, and then I just fucking destroy.
Brought some ingredients.
Nice.
Better. And I get to say that. I was fucking nationally ranked. I'm not pulling it out of my ass. Nothing made my day better than just kicking the ass of some big guy who rode like garbage, with good, but just having good technique. Because
Hey, Harker, sister is asking, lovely Australian gentleperson, Auntie Donna, yes or no? I don't know who that is.
I also don't know this group. It looks like they're a comedy group. Mark, Bonanno, Kelly, and Ron. I don't know this crew. I'm so sorry, sister. I'll have to check them out and see how well it rocks. My favorite comedy group is it's a tough toss up between Chaser Media and Good News Week. They're both excellent. Maybe Chaser because they're sticking around.
one sec. Is Remy actually played by Patton Oswalt in this?
No, probably not. Probably not. He never speaks. God damn it.
Sorry.
Did you guys, did you hear the story about the little birthday boy?
Do I want to hear the story about the little birthday boy? Because that name
you
makes me nervous.
It's a funny story. So it's off Twitter, and this girl said that her boyfriend was a short guy, and he had this habit of just like getting in the face of really big, beefy dudes and getting them really pissed. And then when they pull back their fist to punch him right before they hit, he's like, "Hey, no, I'm just a little guy. It's my birthday. You're not gonna hit me. I'm just a little birthday boy." And they were like,
That sounds like some Griffin McElroy shit right there.
I've read that. You know what? I'm pulling that up. I'm gonna read it. What is
thank
it
you.
called again? What is it
I
called
don't know,
again?
little birthday boy. I'm just a little birthday boy.
While that's being pulled up, Exalt0241 put forward an additional potential reward. Harker piggybacks rides as a stretch goal, and absolutely.
I mean, there are several
Right.
complications.
So
this
very
plan.
many. But yes, I will offer them. You just have to
Okay.
get yourself the camera and quarantine for a month.
Oh my god. So you know how you're like, that sounds like a Griffin McElroy thing? Someone responded with, sounds like the Griffin McElroy School of Self-Defense to me.
Honestly, it absolutely does.
Leslie McElroy energy, but anyway.
Okay.
I dated a 5'8" guy who'd taunt every jacked 6'3" bro he met until they pulled their fist back to beat him up. Whereupon my ex would go, Hey, come on, I'm a little guy, I'm just a little guy, no, it's almost my birthday, I'm a little birthday boy. And it somehow always worked.
That's so funny. I just love short men so much, even the goblin ones.
I love how this stream has established one amazing thing. Neil, very much into small guy.
I do. I love short dudes.
Big lady.
Yeah, I'm into big ladies who can kick my ass, and Neela is into tiny men.
And like women, almost all women.
And all women.
Look, I'm not a complicated bi. I'm more like a failed lesbian than I am a bi girl.
I mean, the fact that I'm ace makes my whatever. It's very inactive. It's mostly just like I can appreciate this.
Yeah,
this
visual
person's really
appreciation.
pretty.
It's like
I am full of appreciation right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
about it.
That's
like,
about it.
okay, yeah.
I do
Shorter
also.
men.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No.
I do also like tall guys, but only if they're himbos.
Yeah, fair. I'm a fan of the tiny men, the women who can step on me, and just all non-binary people. All of the non-binary people.
Yes, non-binary
I think
people
I
are all
am
hot.
yet-
It's true.
This is, I mean, it's, I don't make the rules. You just, it just is.
Well,
October, you said it. Peggable men. That's my type.
I'm taking that as a compliment.
Please do.
Ringo Bingo is too much of an artiste to be a himbo. Ergo, he must be a tiny
I would like to point out that Ringo Bingo
is
picture
Jason Alexander.
is Jason Alexander.
He's not tall.
He tiny boy.
Yeah.
You're
And
not
he's
wrong.
losing to a bird.
I'm losing to a bird. I did that well in a way that annoys me.
What really interesting for me is like, what the fuck is the accent that Jason Alexander is doing in the Cinderella movie? It is amazing.
Oh yeah, no. Is it racist? What is it? I can't tell.
Is it anti-Italian? I can't tell.
It's somehow being a lot of different things at once. That's all we can say for sure. Also, I'm gonna, real quick, while we're in gummy phone and nothing's happening, I'm gonna BRB, do some human body stuff. I'll be right
Enjoy.
back. I've been drinking a lot of coffee.
I'm surprised she's not getting that more often, honestly.
I wonder what
I am
Lord
very surprised. Green augment, Ben Shapiro, a peggable man, confirmed.
I mean, listen,
How do
my
you
friend.
confirm this, Green?
Okay. Since we're already in the realm of cursed content, I'm just gonna go there. A friend of
Lean
mine
in.
by the name of Nick has this theory that I think is absolutely correct. His theory is that Ben Shapiro is in fact simply a bratty sub who goes around saying the worst shit he can think of so that somebody will dom him.
I hate
am
that you're
inclined to agree.
And I have to agree.
Okay.
And I have a theory.
Let's say, hypothetically, that I am, a bratty sub, and I just want someone to come on me. And let's say hypothetically that the left won't let this happen. So much.
Look,
So much dominant left. Like.
No, he's cursed. He's cursed because he'll never just admit that's what he wants, and no one on the left is just gonna like rape him. So
No one on the
he'll never
left
get what he
will,
wants.
Come in and dom me.
I
don't
wouldn't-
understand. Let's just say hypothetically that they did.
Of course.
It wouldn't do well enough.
Not smart.
See, the thing is,
Yeah, I
like,
think
of course, consensual everything.
Oh my God, Maya,
but I
thank
would
you
step
so much.
on Ben Shapiro. Like, I'd step on him.
Accidentally, maybe.
Yes.
He's a little guy.
Everybody who's coming in for Maya, we're making fun of Ben Shapiro right now.
Yeah. We are making fun of Ben Shapiro.
All right,
Also-
what are we up to?
Oh, good. You missed it.
Maya just read it in.
There's a terrifying amount of mouth emotes. Should I be concerned?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't trouble your little ace brain. Maybe, don't you worry.
Also, thank you, Maya, for
Not
rating.
talking about
Lady Night, we've established that Ben Shapiro is just a bratty sub who keeps doing things to try to get someone to dom him.
Oh, God.
Is that inaccurate to his future, though?
See, now, here, I did have the horribly cursed thought that somebody should write a book about Ben Shapiro being a bratty sub, and if he sues them for slander, then he's confirming that it's kind of has merit, because if it's, like, it's not slander if it's such a ridiculous thing that nobody could mistake it to be true.
No, what
So
they
he
need to do
sues them
is
for slander.
what they need to do is do 50 Shades of Grey style, where it's like somebody who is very clearly Ben
Shen
Shapiro,
Shapiro.
but named like
Shen Shapiro,
Ren
yeah.
Capiro, you know?
Oh,
Shen
some, like,
Shapiro.
leftist dom, and every time he says something racist, he gets topped.
That's such a reward to give him, though.
I just want
I know,
you
I
to be
know.
domed by the left.
For
This sucks.
Tumble Dry and
50
May.
Shades of Ben!
Hey Maya, you're welcome to come back in if you want.
Yeah, if you want to come hang out and voice again, feel free.
Yeah, it's not cursed in here at all.
I mean, it's extremely cursed, but you can come hang out anyway. It's up to you.
I think that, as Ben
Goddamn.
Shapiro's psychologist,
Goddamn.
he really needs to examine his shadow self. In the Jungian model,
Damn.
it's clear that he's demonstrated,
This is a
this,
mistake. God.
death drive towards being domed, and I can't abide by this.
God damn.
These
Why is
cult
this so bad?
are trying to talk.
For Tumble Dry and Mayer's Twitch crew, chat, who have just come by, welcome. We are doing a 24-hour charity stream, which we are some distance into, where we're raising money for Trans Lifeline. Trans Lifeline is a grassroots hotline and micro-grants non-profit organization. It's a 501c3 for people who know what that means. It offers direct emotional and financial support to trans people in crisis, for the trans community, by the trans community. You can find out more at translifeline.org. But the things to be aware of, really, are it's mutual aid. Trans Lifeline's hotline is the only service of its kind where all the operators are trans. They offer peer support in English and in Spanish across the US and Canada. And they never involve police or medical services unless the callers ask them to. Trans Lifeline's microgrant program offers direct financial support to trans people to help legally change their name and gender, in addition to specialized services for trans people who are detained by ICE or imprisoned. And we've also heard stories about them supporting folk across a wide variety of ways, including intersex folk in threatening their doctors to receive their medical information.
Actually, Neela, it's been a while. Do you want to tell the story about your amazing rabbi?
Oh
Up
my
to
god.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I don't mind. I do want to. Okay.
I'm gonna quickly go grab some more water.
Do it.
While you're at it, I wanted to remind chat that now's a good time to hydrate. Drink if you need. Stretch
Yeah,
if you can.
I'm about to start talking, so now's a good time to go on a break.
Oh no!
Yeah. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Mila, this story is amazing. Your rabbi is incredible.
He's great, yeah. So, trigger warning for homophobia and talks of conversion therapy. If that freaks you out,
Yeah.
mute until you just guess that it's the right time to unmute.
But it ends happy. It ends amazing.
It does end amazing, so...
I've heard
Gosh.
this story.
Yeah, you have. So when I was like late 16, my mother found out I was queer. She caught me with a girl in the locker room after ballet. I tried to tell her that I was just helping my buddy find a missing menstrual product, but I was caught red-handed, so there was no getting around it. All right, that was funnier in my head. Anyway,
I'm sorry. I'm crouching for a thing. I was focused on the game. Please keep talking. Jesus, Neela! Please keep talking. Please tell your story.
So my mom is very conservative, very homophobic, and so she sends me to this place to go through electroconversion therapy, and it's like 5 states away from where we live because it's been illegal in my state for a while. And it's electroconversion therapy. It sucks, but this place is really shit. Okay, they're so worried about the boys doing pillow fights that they don't consider that the girls would do pillow fights at all. So they put like all the boys get these like little closet dorms where they're by themselves and like locked in. But us girls, we will put 8 to a room, 4 bunk beds left alone all night long. So now I'm really good at pillow fights. I learned a lot. It was great. And I was having a great time. Like, sure, they would electrocute you during the day, but then those pillow fights at night, amazing. Amazing. And so I'm getting through it, doing my best. Now, apparently, while I was gone, this was about 3 months I was there, before my rabbi back home was like nagging my mom to find out where I am, because I just disappeared. She didn't tell anyone her plan, especially not me, otherwise I would have taken off. And he finally convinces her to give him the paperwork and the information, and she tells him, and my friend was there for this part, when she finally told him where she had sent me, he was like, and I'm gonna choose a generic white lady name so I don't dox myself, but he just like stood there and stared at her, and he was like, Deborah, we don't do that in this religion.
Mila's Jewish.
It should have been an indicator that this wasn't cool when the place you were sending her took place at what used to be a church run by a Christian organization. So he gets her, I guess he convinces her to give him the paperwork to come pick me up, and I, again, have no idea this is happening. One day, I'm just sat in what used to be the sanctuary, watching their propaganda, bored out of my mind, when the back door, the main entrance opens behind us at the back of the sanctuary, and I just hear this, like, and I'm like, is that, what? And I, like, kind of look over my shoulder, and literally rolling in
on
Heelys down the center of the aisle in the middle of the sanctuary is my fucking rabbi holding a boombox blasting Pretty Fly for a Rabbi by Weird Al.
What the fuck? Yes.
The rabbi is the greatest motherfucking person I have ever heard, and I'm sorry I missed the first half of this story, but oh my god.
He's so great. And as soon as I see him, I just start busting out.
Heelys,
yeah.
Power moves here.
Right? He even had one of those ridiculous hats that's not even a thing for West Coast. But so he scans the crowd and he sees, because I'm doubled over laughing, and all these like Christian kids are confused, and he's like, let's go, kid, you're out of here. And as soon as I realize he's here to take me home, remember, I'm having fun with these pillow fights, so I'm like, go on, it's fine. Get out of here. I'm having a great time, it's great. And he's like, what? No, come on. And he kind of drags me out, not literally, but when we gather my stuff from the dorm, he's standing there watching me pack my little bag, and he looks at the 4 bunk beds, and he looks at the attendant, and he's like, hey, do they have adult supervision in here all night? Do you guys watch them sleep? And they're like, oh, no, we watch the boys. The girls are fine. And then he looks at me, and he's like, ah. I see. So we get in the van that he rented. We're still in the parking lot at this point. We haven't even left the place. And he's just like sighing and rubbing his temples. He's like, all right, so there's a Planned Parenthood about stayed away. We're gonna stop there and get you checked out, probably. I was like, yeah. He's like, cool. And he takes me and I go and do all the stuff, and I'm fine.
God.
And when I come out of the Planned Parenthood and get back in the car, he has a stack of books on queer theory and how to have safe pillow fights between women.
I really like that you've been calling it pillow fights this entire time, because when you originally told the story, I believe you used the phrase drowning in pussy.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying not to get you in trouble.
You're trying not to get me in trouble?
It's your Twitch channel.
I think we can say pussy.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure we can.
Great. I just don't want to risk the Twitch gods, but that's, you guys, you know what I'm talking about. And the whole way back, he made me read these books on how to have safe pillow fights and quiz me on them, and now I know all about dental dams, lady condoms, you name it.
That is, firstly, what a good rabbi.
I know, but it is just like a rabbi to give you gay homework.
It is. Honestly, if you're gonna have a rabbi who's down for that shit, they absolutely would give you homework. That part is completely accurate.
I am astonished by the simple idea that they bunk people who are in a program to theoretically get rid of their same-gender attraction.
Alone
in same-gender
dorms.
dorms. What the fuck?
Space Panini thought you meant real pillow fights.
No.
I'll be honest, because I didn't, an innocent little ace ding dong over here. When I first came back, I was like, oh, we'll fight, okay, weird.
Yeah, no, literally, I only knew this because Neela told me this story before and used the phrase drowning in pussy. That's the only reason I know.
Listen, because of my 3, well, actually, I was a little, almost 4 months, because of my 4 months there, I can now say I am good at 2 things. Making things, crafting, and eating pussy. And I am better at one of those than the other. It was a detriment to my relationships for a little while, because I would have people who stayed in relationships with me well past when they wanted to leave because they didn't want to miss out on that pussy. I mean, I fly from the East Coast just to spend one night, and they get here, they're like, hey, let's take, and I'm like, no, you just want me to, I feel so But I would also use it as a crutch because my girlfriend would get mad at me for something legitimate, like a poor communication or whatever, and I'd be like, oh, baby, no, don't be mad, let me make it up to you. And then she would forget about it for a day. And then I would do it again, and she'd be like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh my god.
I see what you're up to here.
Professional pussy pounder.
I love that you went to pussy eating boot camp.
Okay, I was lucky that I was in one of the dorms where they're all the girls
my
there were,
god,
like,
Exalt! Oh my god!
Friendship
Friendship breakfast.
It was good. Oh. You know, one of the irony though is the longest lasting relationship I've ever had with a woman is with my girlfriend who's trans and doesn't have a pussy.
Oh no!
And she loves me anyway.
But like,
And she loves you anyway, that's the best part!
I know. And I am not even that great with it. I need to go to a 4-month dick boot camp.
I don't know, I feel like just from watching Euphoria, they talk a lot about dick on that show. Like, a lot. I'm talking, there's an episode where Zendaya sits in front of a classroom and gives, like, a fucking, like, TED Talk about good and bad dick pics. Like, these dick pics mean run away. These dick pics mean, just gross. That show is insane.
Do you want to talk about dick pics for real though? Because
No, because I've never gotten one and I don't want one.
Yeah, I'm good without those. I don't want
no,
them.
in general, like as a
I just need to
person-
read out. I just need to read out October Oddity. Indoor catering all night long.
Yeah, it was an all-you-can-eat buffet every night, all night.
Did we just break Lady Night?
Well, I'm trying to find a hidden Mickey right now.
So much. It's so
Sister, I am extremely fucking tired. It's almost 2 a.m. and I've been up since 8 a.m. yesterday.
Oh,
I am.
should have waited until 9:50 to get up so you maximized your amount.
No, I wanted to get up and make sure that I could do all of the things that make me function better in the morning and like eat a good breakfast and stuff. Because I knew that I would have a hard time getting away to like eat real food for a while, which I was correct about. Every time I get up, I've been like shoving a spoonful of brown rice in my mouth. No, it's fine. I honestly, like, it's working and and my stomach isn't hurting or anything, so, like, it's fine. I'm genuinely okay. I've been eating throughout the day. It's just in little bites. Actually, technically big bites. I kind of took a real big spoonful earlier and was like, oh no, I went too hard. Gotta dial back.
Ah, yes.
Anyway,
Look, I don't want to
doing fun
mispaint the experience of
Yes, cooked brown rice. Good God, I'm not eating it raw. I'm not a heathen.
a heathen.
I think that's a little bit more than heathen to uncooked rice.
Listen, real quick, I don't want to leave this with a misrepresentation of what conversion therapy was like. A lot of people don't go to camps like that. They just show up for a day where they get electrocuted, and it sucks. And also, even if there is a camp, you might not have the same experience I had. A lot of the dorms had kids in them, and thankfully it seems like the people who were in those dorms were respectful of the kids and didn't do stuff. Also, I'm 6'3", and I hit my max height in middle school, so the femme lesbians were excited about that.
Basically, not all experiences are universal, but we're really glad that you have an incredible rabbi. That's really my takeaway.
My takeaway is that your rabbi came in with a fucking boombox on wheelies.
Heelys.
It's okay, we're tired.
It's okay. Thank you.
Oh my god.
What? What?
Oh my god.
What?
Just. Oh my god. That whole story. I am so in love with it.
Okay. Sorry, I thought there was something else that just happened.
I have a lot of funny stories about my rabbi, actually, but the other best one, I don't think I can share on Twitch. You know the one, right?
Oh dear.
I think so. Can you give me a subtle hint?
Now he side-eyes me at Passover whenever he talks about the Jews escaping bondage.
Yes. Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, I don't think I...
No, that's valid, probably for the best.
I don't think we need to share the rest of that story. What a good title. Can we sit down at some point, please, Ela, and compile these into a...
Memoir, maybe?
Yes.
A tell-all?
Sure. I live my life in a way that I'm like, this will be a funny story later. So I have a lot of weird tales about wild shit that happened in my life. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably not stream safe. I was afraid to say conolingus earlier. I was saying pillow fight.
I have no idea. I have no idea what words could get Twitch mad.
Oh, I just realized someone said friendship bracelets. You totally remember the last time I mentioned the story on a stream and said friendship bracelets instead, don't you? Exalt, you little shit.
Yeah, Neela knows Exalt.
The princess is so...
Oh my god. Good grief.
Oh god, I am loving my first night here.
Mr. Ghost, yes, spill. Tell us an embarrassing story about Lady from her childhood.
Is it really anything I'm gonna be embarrassed about? Because honestly, I don't think I have a lot of shame about this stupid shit that I did as a child, but like, sure, roast me. Why not? I can't even think of what you're going to say.
She's giving you permission. She can't even get mad at you later.
I mean, I probably wouldn't.
I don't know. I would definitely be mad at my sister if she roasted me on stream.
I don't know.
I'd hold the grudge.
Sister, can you give me a hint before you unleash hell, just in case I actually do have shame that I've forgotten about? I mean, no, I already said publicly that I was scared of the THX sound. We can't, that's nothing.
To be fair, I think every kid was afraid of that sound.
It is a lot of sound.
It is a
No,
lot
her
of sound.
font.
Of sound.
Font shame? No, I don't want to dance with you, Rapunzel. I love you, but no. Also, font shame. What does that mean? Does that mean something? Font shame.
It's where you shame people for having bad taste in font.
I don't know.
She and I would watch Chicken Run El Dorado, Atlantis, and
I'm not embarrassed
on
of this.
repeat for no reason during school break. We were in high school. She sat in the living room, and I sat on the counter of the kitchen. This became a ritual throughout our high school.
Yeah, I'm not embarrassed about this. This was just
I used to
fun.
watch Sailor Moon. I don't. But Sailor Moon was gay, so I guess it's different.
I don't know, but I'm definitely not embarrassed about our viewing traditions.
I'm not
You want to
surprised
tell them
by
about
this.
all the things that
You're just saying things that LK has definitely already told me.
I'm pretty sure I have, yeah.
You've put them in videos.
Oh,
Oh.
Sister Ghost. Careful with the C word there. We got to keep it out of chat. But
Yeah.
say it again, but without that word.
Well, I thought you said you were gonna share. Oh, I see. It just said sorry from childhood. I got you. All right. I'm tired. My reading comprehension level is low right now.
Oh, you know what? I think
Exalt says there was a lucky emblem on the door back there.
I've gotten a couple. I've gotten a couple already in this area, so I'm keeping track right now.
I think what happened is I said embarrassing story because if my sister were going to share a story about from our childhood in front of people, it would be embarrassing because she was a bully.
Okay.
And I just assumed embarrassing. I didn't know sisters could be nice to each other.
I just realized I've used the C word a bunch today.
It's
Just
different when you
yeah.
say it.
This
They
is-
don't listen.
No,
This is discrimination
no,
against Australians. Like,
No, it's
Oh.
because certain people will purposefully use it to be shitty.
yeah,
So
no, I
okay.
understand.
Block the term so that we don't have to have someone come and
Have
chat.
to deal with that.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Fair.
There are words on the blocked list that in a lot of contexts probably wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but like just
In case.
Just easier. Just
Goofy?
better.
Goofy! Stop it! Goofy,
My
I swear
sister
to God!
once-
Victoria was
My
cute. What's
sister
the
once
problem
had
with
a
that?
nightmare.
I'll help you find the next one.
According to Happy Bunny 345, their sister once had a nightmare where she kissed Victoria from Cats that was really vivid. Actual quote.
And I want to know what's wrong with that. Victoria from Cats was cute.
I mean, she's
She's a cursed cat creature, but
She's definitely not the worst one of the horrid creations that Tom Hooper put on the screen. But depending on how long ago this was, this might have meant like the Lycra version.
I'm about it. Jedi Superpunk, if you're not slagging Aussies, then you should be... Who do you dunk on? Clearly the answer is Kiwis.
no, it's Italian.
Go after New Zealand.
Oh my God! But Tim was here earlier.
It's okay to make fun of Italians, right? We can discriminate against.
I mean, that is kind of a lot of the bit of Ringo Bingo, so I hope so.
Fun of Italian.
To be truly fair, the people that Aussies most dunk on would be American.
I mean, yes.
Which is quite easy to do.
Yes. No. Absolutely, you can dunk on Americans. We deserve all of it.
See, that's how I can always tell which Aussies are going to be the good ones and the bad ones. If they dunk on America, they're good. If they worship it, they're psycho.
Okay.
Oh God, our fucking Prime Minister is trying to bring in American-style healthcare, and it's like,
We're dying because we can't afford
Why
healthcare.
would
Don't do that.
anybody choose American-style healthcare? We've got a really good system here. Don't
Because it might benefit
break it.
3 rich people who can then use their money to get faster care.
Oh, it'd just be Rupert fucking Murdoch.
Doesn't he own the media in Australia?
He owns.
No,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Sister Ghost just said a funny thing.
I can't tell an embarrassing story about Lady Night. Our whole lives are embarrassing. Nice.
Mic drop.
Yeah, Murdoch owns about 3/4 of Australian media. He owns News Corp, Fox News, Sky News in Australia. He owns the Daily Mail and the Times in the UK. And essentially, he is solely responsible for the growth of neoliberalism across the world. So we want to set him on fire for good and reasonable reasons of not having him continue to influence all of our politics in a worse way.
That sounds
But he's an Aussie. Yeah.
Murdoch
He's an Aussie
should be
through and through.
buggered with several cactuses. Somebody said that in chat.
They did?
Ooh!
Those
We
were
lost Aaron for a
words.
second.
Aw.
We lost Aaron. Oh no!
They'll probably be back.
Boom.
Oh, hey, Alice, you're here! Hi, Alice!
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Alice, how are you?
I'm alright. I literally just woke up.
Hell yeah!
Oh, good morning.
Good morning! How are you?
G'day.
Do you want to tell everybody who you are and what you do? To introduce yourself to chat?
Hi. I'm Alice Quinn Rose.
Let me turn up your volume.
Okay. I don't know what I do. I produce things around the internet on like Philosophy Tube and stuff. And right now I'm mostly writing.
Awesome. Yay! You also made a short film. Frank and Alice?
Yes, for Terror of Frank and Alice.
Yeah. Oh, and you did
Yeah.
that, you helped Abigail with her Shakespeare stream. And you read a lot of it too, I remember. It was cute.
I read Puck. That was the only bit I read. But yeah, I was the on-site producer for that. So I was like effectively the stage manager and like breaking down all the scripts and
Awesome.
making sure there was people to cast.
Right on. You
That's
do a
cool.
lot of charity streams. You were also on, I've done 3 and you've been on all of them, I think. So it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah. No, yeah, I was on Jess's one. Like the one I went for a week and like had lots of different programming. That was really cool.
Rowan Ellis is good to join as well.
Yay! Bring in Rowan!
Rowan is here? Oh no.
Hi, Rowan! Hi! Can you tell chat who you are and what you do? Which is really cool, by the way.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rowan. I do like video essays on YouTube about gay stuff, basically, like history and pop culture, stuff like
Hell
that.
yeah, hell yeah.
And it's awesome.
I like do not understand video games whatsoever. And I've been watching the stream and
my
there's
God.
You've been watching us.
but for the longest time, I was like, why are you being chased by these Disney characters? Do they want to kill you? Like, what's happening? It took me so long to realize that they were like your friends in the
Yeah,
stream. I
they're
was
my
so
friends.
panicked. I was like, there's something so sinister about Goofy just silently running after you wherever you go.
The best part is that there are scenes from fucking Disney movies that will just play out in full in this game, starring 3 idiots. My favorite is the one where a man is dying. Flynn is dying, entangled, and Donald, Goofy, and Sora just stand there and watch it happen. Donald Duck can cast Cure, and he doesn't.
There's also just like the fact that like if they were there in that scene, presumably Muffagoffle wouldn't have been able to like fuck everything up as much.
Yeah,
So,
probably. So they just like have to sideline them for dumb reasons.
Also, Mother Gothel turns into a giant, like, scarecrow
Tree
creature.
heartless thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, and out of curiosity, how long have you been watching the stream?
Oh, I've like been hearing a lot of stories about how great conversion therapy is.
Oh no!
I was like, I should probably like listen for a while and see what everyone's talking about. I wonder what like interesting stuff's going on the stream. Oh, cool.
Yeah, okay.
Neela just happened to like
Have you
her.
heard any of the Ringo Bingos?
Oh, that's actually a very important question. Have you guys heard about the
Ringo
lore of
Bingo?
Ringo Bingo?
The greatest
No,
Italian
so I've
director
heard-
of all time?
No, so I heard references right at the end, but like with no context whatsoever.
Okay.
You're talking very
I'll
authoritatively
explain.
about Ringo Bingo.
So, it's a weird bit that started when Emily, Lady Night, and I were chatting way too late into the night on Thursday, because I was finishing my coming out video, which I released 2 nights ago now, because it's 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.
Don't worry, don't think too hard about it. Whatever, time.
And it's Thursday, and it's really late, and I was explaining how Emily was researching Italian directors, and I was trying to think of like a random name that sounded vaguely Italian, but my brain instead thought of the words Ringo Bingo.
Amazing.
And
So I
so
just
they
stated-
said Ringo Bingo, and I started screaming, Steven Spielberg, eat my ass! Ringo Bingo till I die!
This is why we're called the KH3.
Yeah, honestly. And then it just sort of spiraled from there. We've started coming up with extensive Ringo Bingo lore. Like, extensive. He really innovated the Antarctican film scene. His use of color in black and white films was revolutionary. He lived as he died, hang gliding at 99 years old, screaming, fuck Y2K. Nobody understands why, because it was 2008. That was reported on by famed film historian Buca de Beppo.
Like, what I think is going to be really interesting is I'd heard rumors that there was a biopic coming out, but
A documentary, yes.
So
it's a documentary.
I'm making a Life and Times documentary about the greatest,
Filmmaker in history,
Yeah.
Ringo Bingo.
such a good filmmaker. Sorry, I'm very sleepy, and I'm also trying
It's
to.
okay. It's okay. We're all multitasking right now.
Yeah.
Incredible Italian film director Ringo Bingo is going to get a documentary. Erna is trying to rope as many people as possible who can show up on stream, but the best part would be to get everybody to do it in the style of their own videos. So, I'll be a stick figure quoting fucking Emily Dickinson to talk about how much Ringo Bingo's films make me feel things.
Noah from Polyphonic made. Oh, sorry,
Posters.
Unearthed.
Yeah,
Never
I'm sorry.
before
Yeah,
found.
Noah
Unearthed.
found these incredible posters.
These incredible posters that, if we get to $4,000 raised, will get released to the public as a teaser for the video.
You're in Discord, so you can technically look at them. I
Rowan can
believe
go
they've
look at
been.
them. So can Alice. It's in
Yeah.
right now.
What? I'm a chaos twin and I'm lost.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Alice.
Oh, I feel like there's been a huge mistake because these posters are not in the Discord channel important stuff, which clearly they are.
No,
Oh yeah.
they're just out there. Because if you're on the Discord, it's fine.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the director who got Coppola to recut Apocalypse Now 72?
Fucking hell. That
Oh my
should be
God.
part of
Yeah.
it.
Okay, Alice, we have to talk about that in the video if you're up for doing a bit.
Yeah, like Coppola's talked before about how like he wanted this movie. Ringo Bingo was like one of his biggest inspirations, so he like kept becoming into it. It was like just more.
Just
like,
right for Ringo Bingo. Got Ringo Bingo
But he
seal of
never could.
approval. That was so important to him.
And he still didn't get it. Like, he worked so hard, and Ringo just was like, this
Never gave it to him.
Yeah. Okay. This is the best.
Hal, it's about cats. That's the energy. That's just what I'm picturing right now. I don't know who's saying it to whom, but that's what I'm picturing.
Hal, it's about
Cow cats.
Aw.
I love that post. I love
I
that.
do too.
It's so sweet. He knew what he was making. A bonkers fucking wild thing about cats.
God damn. Sometimes you just gotta make a thing about cats. Sometimes you just gotta speak
I
the
You
truth
just gotta.
about cats.
October
also-
already says,
We
He also
should do the
physically
thing we've been
could not
doing.
make it
We were
back.
so sleepy, we weren't thinking.
Oh, yeah.
So we've asked every single person who's come on what their most recently released project, video, whatever, and then what piece they're most proud of from like the last year or so.
Yes.
So people can go,
Ooh,
check out
that
your work.
is a very bold assumption that I remember what the last thing I did was.
Well, you can look at your own channel if you need to refresh.
Yeah, I'm not going to my own channel right now to double check what the fuck I did.
I'm gonna go
Most
check.
of the stuff I make isn't on my channel, it's on other people's channels.
Oh yeah, well we had we've had people on who do stuff like editing for other channels and things as well. So like
You can shout out your recent work or just go straight to the thing you're most proud of, if that's an easier question.
I mean, so recent work. I'll let Rowan go first.
Oh, okay. So I technically, I can't believe this. My most recent video, because I have a video coming out tonight about Jennifer's body and like the whole.
That's on Disney Plus now, so I want to watch it.
What?
And Shanalika is, has guested on it as well, which is really exciting.
Amazing.
But the one I did before that, which is technically the one I have to say is my most recent, is about Jojo Siwa. So
that video was really sweet, though.
I think it's really lovely. Like her coming out was so indicative of like what the possibilities of coming out in the future in terms of like it not being this thing that you have to like alone figure out by yourself in isolation before you let anyone know, and then the first time you tell someone is when you're certain, which is stupid. And so yeah, I really appreciated that. But the favorite thing I kind of feel like I've got to say, even though it's like my least watched of the year, is the Black Sails video, because I literally spent
Oh, I loved that. I watched it.
that video.
You made me want to watch Black Sails. It's just I have to pay to rent it.
I just haven't finished it, which is why I didn't watch the video.
It's the I mean, like, honestly, I was like, Rowan, you've committed to the idea of a video about the ending of a series that no one's watched. So you're gonna have to just live with the fact that your watch time's gonna tank, because you essentially at the beginning say, hi, if you haven't watched Black Sails, don't watch this video, just stop now. So after whatever it was, like, seconds, everyone was like, well, I guess I gotta not watch
Go
this
watch that thing.
I have never once stopped when a YouTuber has told me to.
No,
video
I
for
very
spoilers.
rarely do. There are very few pieces of media that I'm like, no, I can't have spoilers. I spoil shit for myself all the time, and I'll still enjoy it because, honestly, partially my memory's a sieve, but also, like, I forget things a lot. So, like, I watched your Black Sails video. I remember 10% of plot points you brought up.
I'm enjoying watching it. That's some.
Well, like,
Yeah.
one of the best things about Black Sails is for people who have watched I was literally about to say Treasure Planet, and I'm like, technically yes, that is a Treasure Island adaptation, but Treasure Island is what I actually meant to say. Well, no, because it's a prequel to Treasure Island, they'll know half the plot points anyway. Like, they know who lives and dies at the end for a lot of the characters, so depending on how much knowledge
I wasn't aware
now,
that it was the Treasure Island prequel until like your video.
I'm now way more excited
And
about
I've
it,
seen it.
and here's why. Because so I read like classical books on stream sometimes in a bunch of different voices, and I read Treasure Island recently, and actually really enjoyed it. I was kind of surprised. It holds up pretty well. It's got a lot of problems with like being written by a British dude in the 1500s.
That is a problem that happened.
But like it's more like that shitty like casual racism than like the like malicious, hateful, targeted.
Yeah.
It's very like, we talk about people like this now in this time period, and you're like, gross. Don't like that.
But in terms of like
all of
the,
Stevenson's books, and it's kind of a bit off-putting for his writing.
Oh, it's very, because it'll be so out of like left field, like you just aren't ready for it, and then just out of nowhere, it's like, ha! Here's a horrible thing, and you're like, what?
This is why you just watch Treasure Planet instead.
Yeah. Treasure Planet just, but I really enjoyed reading it because I could view all the characters with, you know, maybe something a little bit different than the text is intending. Like I made all the snobbish, you know, rich dudes, snobbish rich dudes, and like a little bit more just like because of it, you know.
It's,
I don't know.
There's one like throwaway line in Treasure Island, which is about how Long John Silver has a black wife somewhere. It's just like, oh, but yeah, the end. And then Black Sails was like, what if we took that and just like really ran with it? Just made it
Made her a character.
What I actually like in the book though is that that's never really presented as a negative thing. It's brought up, I think, 4 separate times. I mean, the way it's worded is, for terms for someone who is black, but it's just like Long John Silver just really loves his wife, and I love that bit. Like, Long John Silver's just my favorite character in that book. He's the best part.
I can't believe this whole time Long John Silver was a wife guy.
Yeah, he's great.
I've been
like, he literally goes on the entire adventure just to get a bunch of money so him and his wife can go retire. Like, I fucking love Long John Silver, and I gave him like Drifter's voice from Destiny because I loved him.
so I've been dropping cancelable takes this whole time, but here's my next one. Treasure Planet is the best Disney film ever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair.
I don't know if it's objectively the best, but it's definitely one of my favorites.
I think
objectively
it's
the
maybe
best.
the most underrated one.
I mean, I say there's no such thing as objective takes in art, really. But like, I don't know. It's definitely a beloved cult classic, I would say. Yeah. It was definitely not received the way it should have been.
I also
love that it tanked for studio for a little bit. Which just allowed Pixar to fill the niche, and we got all the good Pixar movies for a time.
Didn't they kill it on purpose because they were mad at Mustard and Clemens?
Like, that's kind of, it's like very probable, but I think even Red Sword says in his video where he covered that like none of this is confirmed. It's just more like Disney knows how to market movies, and they didn't with Treasure Planet. That's kind of the thrust of it.
It's also, it was really expensive because they deep canvassed, which was a new technology they invented for Tarzan, so you could get seamless camera movements. They deep canvassed every single shot on Treasure Planet, which made it about 5 times as expensive as it needed to be. So like it did not like make 5 times that back, and therefore it was considered a failure.
I just like how that whole era they were just like, you know what, kids love space. We should just do sci-fi. We should just really dig into that. It's totally gonna work. Don't question it. It's fine. Chicken Little, anyone?
Well, and what's really funny is like Treasure Planet was their passion project. Like they wanted to do Treasure Planet, and then weren't they made to go work on?
They worked on different
everything.
Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and then Hercules.
Yeah, I think
sounds right.
It
wasn't Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
If you do that, then you can make the movie you want to make. And then they just kept not letting them make the movie they wanted to make.
Yeah, they're like, okay, yeah, you did well here, but like, go make this one now. And then they did. And they just kept making money, so eventually they just sort of rolled out and went, okay, fine, make your space movie.
Fine, you can have your space adaptation of Treasure Island.
I would have given anything to be in the design room when they were trying to come up with the technology to do that, like, what was it called? The rotoscoping? That they used in Treasure Planet?
Deep canvas.
Deep canvas, yes. When they were trying to describe it to the people they wanted to make it, and they're like, why? And they're like, well, we want the guy to tree surf.
Yeah.
Well, like, imagine selling an executive like tree surfing.
Yeah,
It's gonna
the
be
most
cool.
expensive thing we've ever done, but probably worth it.
I mean,
It's like,
so how
I
it
mean,
basically
no,
works.
So
resurfing.
How it basically works is a CG, an early CG artist would like build the trees in like a 3D program, and then like move the camera around and get all of those shots, and then export those shots and like give them to the background painters, so that the background painters could then just like paint over that skeleton. And then once those were there,
Right.
the like character animators could like see every shot of what the background would be like, move Tarzan to that.
It's a really cool technique, and I think it would be much more doable now if you used the right, like, if you trained an algorithm correctly, you could definitely just do it mostly auto-generated.
I just love that all that work was done in service of tree surfing.
Yep.
I just
So the
And
reason
that's why it's so smooth.
I just
yeah, it's amazing.
It is. It was amazing. How
I kind of just
And-
reckon that no animators actually worked on Tarzan, and that Phil Collins just went into a studio and it like spontaneously appeared.
Just emerged from the sweat on his brow.
Like stared at a screen, and it just happened.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he just willed it into existence.
Yeah.
I wanna know, can you show it? I don't remember the words. My dad really likes Phil Collins, but like it was not the Tarzan Phil Collins that I grew up listening to.
I just have this image of Phil Collins out reading some like old racist like pulp fiction from like the 1890s.
Oh God.
And then like that's what Tarzan is. That's where it comes from.
Oh
It's ridiculous. It's like almost Jules Verne levels of ridiculousness at times. Tarzan. Like he fights dinosaurs in the forest and stuff.
Love
no!
that.
I mean, there's something to be said about him being like a man raised by apes who acts like an ape, and the English conception of people of color. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, also, like, in the pulp novels, like he comes across like native Congo people, and is not nice to them at all. Yeah.
Oh, there's this book that I've got on my shelf for research. Where did I put it? Which I am deeply nervous about actually starting to read. Colin Turnbull was born in 1924 and educated at Westminster and Magdalen, Oxford. During the war, he served with the RNVR in coastal forces. After the war, he studied Oriental and African sociology at the London University. He was engaged on research work at the Banaras Hindu University in India. In this book, The Forest People, he tells the fascinating stories of the 3 years he spent among the pygmies of the Ituri forest in the Congo.
Wow. Great. What could go wrong?
Let's see.
What could possibly be problematic about that?
Published in 61.
Speaking of other old books that are interesting to read, I read Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and I'm bringing this up because I know Alice was interested in what thoughts would be on it once I read it. And Alice, you're right. There's a lot of weird.
It's so trans.
It's so trans. It's so
It's
weird.
the most trans book in the world.
Oh, I'm glad that we're
Really funny was because before I knew anything about the story, I just made the brilliant decision to read the Doctor as and Hyde as Alex Jones' voice.
Oh no.
Really made for an experience.
That is a decision.
It was a decision.
To be honest, that works. Like,
It works.
because Jekyll is meant to be like the mask and like the persona of like that entity has built over time to like be able to like move around in society. And Hyde is just like in the original story is meant to just be evil. Because Stevens is really narrow-minded and normative. But it's great. I love Jekyll and Hyde.
I really enjoyed it. I would love to take that story and make a more empathetic version of it. if that makes
I mean,
sense.
I've been like, it's on the back burner right now, but I've been adapting it into a play where Hyde will be a woman.
Dang!
I really want to. If you finish that script, we should do like a stream or something, like a script read or something. That would be amazing. You gotta put together.
If only you happen to know an amazing trans woman who has a friend who's also an actor who looks kind of like how she used to look.
Jekyll and Hyde in university I became like super obsessed with because I was just really into it, which I think I talked about it in the Black Sails video, really into the idea of the pre-read text. Because if you've read Jekyll and Hyde, you inevitably, before you read it, know they're the same person.
Yeah, the intertextual like knowledge.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, but at the time, okay, so this is what I found so interesting. I talked about this a lot when I was studying it in our seminars with the professor. At the time, obviously, they wouldn't have known that. That was like the big plot twist. And so instead, it's like, well, you have to look at what kind of red herrings were given for, like, what story was he trying to suggest might actually be happening so that you wouldn't guess it was the same person the whole time. And one of the really big ones is like, this strange person goes into our friend's house via the back door and comes out like half an hour later with £20. It was a gay prostitute story, and so the whole thing about, like,
that's how I was reading it the entire time. I was like, wow, no matter what, it's weird.
Yeah, so it's like,
just in terms.
My favorite thing is like how it's like actually written and everything's laid out. Because it's laid out as Jekyll's lawyer investigating because he thinks it's fishy. But what he thinks is going on is that like Mr. Hyde is just like threatening this old man to like give him all his money so that he can kill him and like take the money.
And there's a lot of evidence for that when like
and that's what Stevens was trying to write, but he's too. He just wrote a really quick story.
It comes across like Mr. Hyde is doming.
Oh wow!
Jekyll into giving him money.
It's a Findom situation.
Oh yeah,
in terms of its trans, the trans readings, like I've just grabbed my copy and opened it here. I lingered but a moment at the mirror. The second and conclusive experiment had yet to be attempted. It yet remained to be seen if I had lost my identity beyond redemption and must flee before daylight from a house that was no longer mine and hurrying back to my cabinet. I once more prepared and drank the cup, once more suffered the pangs of dissolution and came to face myself once more with the character, the stature, and face of Henry Jekyll.
Do you want to hear that?
Holy shit, that is trans!
Yeah, it's very trans.
Right? I mean, it's like just to like break it down for a bit. In the like ending monologue, Jekyll talks about how his whole life he's always had like these urges to like do certain things, but like knew that they weren't like proper in society, and so he spends his life he lives his life like trying to just like get on with like life and like being the person that he's meant to be, or like what society has told him to be, and then he one day decides that he's sick of it, and invents a potion that turns him into someone else that allows him to like explore all of those urges he's ever had, and that body is like younger so that he can do it for longer, and I don't really know how you can make it more trans. It's just
so interesting, and it was really weird like reading like the Hyde and Jekyll voice as these two like
right-wing shitfields.
I actually gave it a completely different meaning. Like so it was like I actually like reinforced the trans meaning in a way, but also was like adding this entire other meaning of
Alex Jones is who Jordan Peterson is. Like he just puts on this brazier.
Tends to be nice. Puts that veneer of niceness over it, saying the same garbage, and he's spreading the same harm, and like that ended up adding this whole weird subtext that like is not in the original text, and that's why I kind of love doing delivery, because you can add a lot of meaning to something in how you read it. And for me, that's how I first experienced books, was from my dad reading stuff. I used to love my dad reading books, and so even when because I learned how to read when I was 4. I was a weird kid, but even once I could read, I used to get my dad. My dad still used to read to me before bed, so I usually would read a book and then like over the next couple of weeks have my dad read it to me because I just loved hearing his voices and the way he delivered it. Performance.
So there's a poem that my mum memorized years ago, which is "The Dong with the Luminous Nose," and to this day it brings like prickles down my spine to hear it read to me. Me reading it myself does nothing. It has to be performed by someone. It's just magic. Being read to is a special kind of magic.
One. The other thing I like to do with my stream is sometimes I'll do Greek myths or other myths as they're properly meant to be done, which is as an oral tradition. So I know the beats of the story, and I make up the rest on the spot.
Yeah.
And apparently I'm good at it. People keep being like, "What are you reading from?" Like, this is really good. Who are you getting it from? I'm like,
I was
a compliment I could receive.
I was curled up with a partner the other night, and I decided that that I'd recite the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur to them, following that same approach. So lovely, so good, such a good way of performing story.
And every time it's a different story, a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like maybe the tone you go for is a little bit different. The feeling you give it is a little bit different. And
which bits you like give more time to like breathe is a bit different.
Yeah.
Based on like what you're thinking about each of the characters at that point.
Like I did Thor's the Theft of Thor's Hammer / Thor's Wedding, which is a story.
I love that.
Very queer. It is a very queer story in the best way.
Just like, hey, why don't you just put on a dress?
Well,
it's like, Loki, what? And I was like, just put on a dress.
That Loki is incredibly genderqueer, and like that's explicit in the original Norse telling story.
Loki gives birth.
Yeah,
to a horse.
Loki does the birthing thing.
Points. Like he is both a father and a mother biologically in the stories.
Yeah.
He goes by different pronouns at different anyway, so Loki's just like, well, obviously we just dress you up as a woman and pretend that you're Freya, because like we can't make Freya do it. Also, like, Freya goes into basically like Hulk rage. Like, that's a thing that happens. It's fucking great.
Yeah, because she's not a piece of meat to be sold.
Exactly.
Like, and the fact that Thor even insinuated that.
Oh yeah, like Thor.
How dumb Thor is in the original bit. Like, he was like, hey, I'll throw my hammer, and essentially, like, they'll give advice, like, they marry Freya. So come on, Freya. He's like, no.
And all the other like,
what the fuck are you doing?
What are you talking about, you absolute fucking knobhead? Like, come on, buddy.
Guys, himbo right.
Gods, no.
Why did I do that for you, you jackass? It's not my fault you lost your hammer. Like, and I just
it's
love
punishment, but they let people get wrecked for being they named after me, not you, just so that you get annoyed.
The king of the giants is also just a big doofus, and like his sister's the only one that's like almost figuring things out.
I love that he didn't figure it out, though, that he wanted Freya specifically because other people said she was beautiful, because he clearly couldn't tell her apart from Thor.
Yep.
Well,
there's also, but he also just started to think, wait, what?
Whole thing.
She eats a lot for a lady.
I love the entire bit of like, so I guess I can tell a bit of it. So Thor and Loki show up. Loki in this magnificent, bridesmaid's gown, looking amazing with perfect hair, and Thor is in a ill-fitting wedding dress with the bridal veil over, who's just seething with anger. So I want you to picture like this big buff dude with like that type of like angry posture, you know, like, and they sit down and they're having the feast, and Thor consumes 6 sheep, 2 entire cows, and a pig, and you know, the king is just like, wow, she's so hungry, like, what the fuck? And Loki just comes up, it's just like, don't worry. She's just been so excited about coming to marry you that she hasn't eaten in 7 days. Like, she just hasn't eaten in 7 days and 7 nights, and she's so hungry because she was so excited and she couldn't even stomach
like 8 animals.
Yeah. Oh, it gets better. And so then the alcohol's brought up, and Thor just starts, you know, drinking like Thor does, just entire kegs. I mean, remember,
another breaks the coffee cup in the diner.
One of the most famous stories about Thor is Thor drinking a ridiculous amount of
the ocean. Right?
He
lower the level of the
much
ocean by like
he drinks so much of the ocean, but it goes down a little bit.
So he's drinking entire kegs of ale, and once more the King of the Giants is just astonished at his bride to be's, you know, incredible ability to consume things. And Loki's like, no, my king. She has been so excited about coming to marry you, so thrilled that she hasn't drank anything for 7 days and 7 nights. And you know, the king, who's just this ego ding dong, is like, oh my god, she must really love me, you know. and he's just ecstatic. He's just on cloud fucking 9 because Freya, who's, you know, he's been told is the prettiest person ever, you know, just wants to marry him, and you know, he's getting impatient though. He really wants to see his bride, and so he goes to lift the bridal veil. He only gets it up a little bit, but underneath he sees the bloodshot red eyes of a berserker rage Thor. And he's a little perturbed, and Loki goes to the king and says, no, my king, it's okay. She's just hasn't slept in 7 days and 7 nights because she's been so excited about coming to get married to you. And he just goes, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. The king's sister, who's just getting bored of the pageantry and stuff, is like, we need to move on. Bring out the bridal gifts. Bring out the groups. We're getting this done because I'm getting bored. And so obviously, Mjolnir's brought here. He's placed upon the lap of Thor, and Thor lifts it up and goes, "Ha! Fuck you!" And starts just killing all the giants around him.
Jesus Christ!
You know, it stands out to me that they went to that much effort to explain why the King of the Giants was still down to marry Thor, when these days you would never have to explain why anybody would be attracted to a big-armed woman who could eat 3 cows, 6 pigs, and 4 sheep.
Well, but
my favorite thing is that, like, there's no reason for Loki to wear a dress, but he still did.
Loki just wanted to. Loki's
yeah,
like,
Loki was just like feeling cute. You know.
Okay? I'm just entirely imagining
I would like to point out
they get Thor in the dress, and like Thor's putting the dress on, and then like comes out and sees Loki like perfect.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know, like Anne Hathaway realness, and then just like
Anne Hathaway realness.
Like, why are you wearing a dress?
We
like,
might need
and he's like, all right.
I wanted to.
and it's better than that, because Loki also fights in the dress. Like, Loki's like, oh yeah, we're going there for like a secret plan to like beat the shit out of a bunch of giants and murder people. I have to
look hella cute doing it.
I'm gonna look fucking cute while I'm doing it. And like,
I've now convinced myself that I want Anne Hathaway to play for gender bent Tom Hiddleston in the next Thor movie.
I want like genderqueer Loki, and in the comics, in the Marvel comics, this is a thing. It happens. Loki will change gender randomly whenever he feels like it. Like he'll just decide like, I'm gonna be a woman now.
Lucky.
And when that does happen, and like Thor is like facing Loki, what I want to happen is like for someone to like question it, but then Thor to go, what? No, it's just Loki.
Just Loki, like that's what Loki does. Duh.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a Wednesday. Like they just put on a different outfit. What are you on about?
Yeah.
It's like, sister, what are you doing?
Well, that's the important thing too, is that like Loki most of the time presents masculine and uses the masculine pronoun, but then whenever they feel like it, they switch and they switch the pronouns, and everybody else is just like, yeah, that's normal, and it's fucking awesome. And actually, Rick Riordan brings that up in the Magnus Chase books. One of the main characters is gender fluid, and it's very purposeful about like respecting that character's pronouns. And I just reading that book was like, oh, I'm not writing. I didn't understand why I related to it yet, but I was feeling things.
God, could you imagine just being able to
Hey, I
snap
think
your
that's a-
fingers and
let's
change your
see.
gender, your sex or your gender? That'd be sick.
Oh my god, I wish.
I really want Anne Hathaway as Loki now. I don't know why. She just feels right for it. In my mind.
Wow.
Oh no, I already simped for her so hard. I don't need it to be worse.
Oh,
Like this Tom Hiddleston like turns into Anne Hathaway at one point, and it's just like
I just like
Stunning.
I love the energy of Anne Hathaway, specifically in Ocean's 8, where she literally is like, yeah, I just committed some crimes to hang out with some women. I don't have enough girlfriends in my life. That's literally what
she's
she
like
says.
her comedy stuff recently has been like The Intern was a fun. It's like a perfect airplane movie. And then
That's a
what was
very
the
good
other
description
thing
of
she did? And that one she did with Rebel Wilson was also
I
quite
still
fun.
need to see The Hustlers.
It's
I
it's
didn't
pretty
care
fun.
for it.
It's a bit like I know.
If you're a fat
heteronormative
person who doesn't feel great about your body, I would avoid watching it. But if you don't mind a ton of fat jokes, then it's not
I
bad.
watch a lot of movies from throughout history, and fat phobia, especially in rom-coms, is extremely common. So
yeah,
I'm
I would
used
say
to
it's
it.
a Rebel Wilson movie, so like
Yeah.
go into it knowing that. 'Cause
Yeah.
she seems to, I don't know, rely on those sort of jokes.
She
But I meant like
does.
as like a
It's
plot and
hard
stuff,
to
and
know
like outside
whether
of that, it's
lying on those jokes, or if she's in a situation where that's the only joke she gets to make, and that's kind of.
I don't
I
know.
think-
It's hard to
yeah.
tell because I know there's that romantic, the isn't it romantic or something like that. That I guess the whole thing is like she doesn't believe in rom-coms, and then she like gets a concussion and just wakes up in a world where it's like everything is a rom-com, and she's the one person being like, why is everything like this? And I guess nobody ever makes comments about her weight in that movie. I think.
Wow.
Don't quote me on this.
That would be amazing.
That would be nice to see in more movies.
Wouldn't
yeah,
it just?
it would be cool if like
Wouldn't it just?
Wouldn't it be nice if characters weren't just like defined on a very arbitrary set of limited axes and could just be fully developed characters?
I think
Yeah,
you make
I
a good point, though, Alice, about those
I-
being the only jokes she gets to make.
It's possible, yeah. Like, I don't know, it seems like for a time she embraced it, and now it definitely feels like she's been a little bit, typecast.
yeah, like in what was the
Pitch Perfect?
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Like she seemed to sort of embrace it and like I don't know, almost try to own it for a
Yeah.
bit. And then she got typecast as that because she embraced it so hard.
Yeah.
Well, that happens to other fat women in Hollywood too, though. Like even Melissa McCarthy has gone on record saying that she hates those kinds of jokes and she doesn't want to be a mouthpiece for some producers' fat phobia. But like even in her
Even in
movies-
the movies her husband produces.
Yeah,
she
that
like
happens.
oh my god, like I'm like, why do you keep making movies with your husband? He writes trash for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, or these sort of like when you go home at night, it's like, honey, can I this joke and this joke and this joke? Can we not?
Yeah.
Honestly.
At some point, I don't think I could stay married to somebody who made those kind of jokes about my body. I'd be like,
Yeah, same. Like if I had a husband and like he put me in his movies and like every time there was like a trans bathroom joke, no, we're getting divorced. You clearly do not respect me as a human being.
Like, I don't know. I feel like you should be getting, like, expecting and receiving support from your significant other if you're going to work on projects together, not this, like...
okay.
Well, and the thing is, without understanding or knowing anything about Melissa McCarthy or her marriage, I will say she's established enough in the industry that, like, she probably could do other things. Like she has the money. I'm pretty sure she helped
make her own
produce
movie.
those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, I think she helps produce her husband's garbage movies. I'm pretty sure she is a producer on them. I think.
What if Home Rebel Wilson like did a Girl Squad movie? I don't know what
Yeah.
that would be, but like,
I'd be a fan.
cool.
Watch that. Yeah.
It'd be nice to have one romantic comedy or any love story with a fat lead where it's never like a thing.
Yeah,
The fat
that
jokes.
would be real nice, hey.
And again, it would be nice to have the same thing with like a trans woman lead or a bunch of other groups.
I don't think it's like any individual group. I just would like to see like jokes that
Humor that doesn't punch down.
Yeah.
time and in such like shitty way, you know.
The thing is, there is like good trans jokes that you can make.
There is. They're usually not made by just people,
Trans
but-
people are the ones making the jokes, though.
Yeah, like
That
it's
is the
it's
key.
usually more so about like just ridiculousness of someone being confused at your ID, and it's like, oh, for God's sake.
Oh yeah,
If
like,
everyone was just a bit more educated, this would be fine. But like, I'll just laugh at it instead. It's usually laughing at tragedy trans jokes.
yeah, I know.
It's really this. The ideal really is having romantic comedies where both characters in the romantic comedy are characters, not one character chasing an object that they that also becomes the butt of all the jokes.
Yeah,
That's
this is
why I
one
really
thing.
like Schitt's Creek because it's a comedy with a lot of romance in it, and it's so fucking wholesome.
It's extremely sweet.
It is good. I've been watching. I've only started watching that, and I'm only like 7 episodes in, but it is really good so far.
Like I have to
um,
fast forward sometimes because I have serious. Sorry.
Oh no, it's I interrupted. But yeah, I apologize.
Basically, just I have to fast forward sometimes because I have the secondhand embarrassment really bad, and like the parents just make me so uncomfortable sometimes.
Understandable.
But it's still a really, really wholesome show, and I enjoyed the shit out of it. I've finished all of it now, so I can safely say that I really, really like it.
I think the show improves as it goes. I have to skip like most of the seasons with Roland in the first season because he's just like not a character at that point. He's just embarrassment. Like
Yeah,
he's just the human embodiment of embarrassment, and it's deeply uncomfortable to watch.
it's
Wait,
a lot.
who?
It's a lot.
Roland, the town mayor.
Oh yeah, I don't like. I was thinking from
Honestly,
like, the first
Roland
episode,
doesn't
you
get
hate
much
everyone.
better later on.
Well,
Roland
that's
gets
the thing, from like the first episode, you hate everyone, and like I've been surprised with like just over the first 7 episodes, they fleshed everyone out so well. But like I kind of just liked them, even though they were like snobby. Like,
That's what's weird about that show.
yeah,
basically
but I
did
still
it
don't like
hard
Roland. He's still just like this unempathetic.
You will never like Roland. Like
Okay,
Roland
that's
is
fine.
uncomfortably horrible. But what's her name?
It's a sad, sad man.
God. His
I'm
wife.
so bad with names.
His
Yeah.
wife. You mean his wife, right?
She has like the most generic name, and I am very bad at names. So
Yeah.
I only remember Roland.
Brenda or
because
something.
He's just a garbage boy stink man, and he annoys me.
God, Roland's the worst.
Yeah.
I will say Roland gets one moment in the last episode that is the one time in the entire series I went, oh, at a scene with Roland, but it did take 5 seasons.
It's like I think my favorite joke so far has been the sign, the town sign.
Yes, that's such a good bit. How do
And
you
it's
not come?
And then they just, how they fixed it is they don't change it at all. They just put a thing saying, "Don't worry, it's the sister."
Sister. I feel like no one has any idea what the fuck we're talking about. So
It's been a while, so I don't remember that bit
so
specifically.
in the first season, there is a sign at the entrance of the town that looks like a man
Oh, that's right.
having sex
With a woman.
the river,
Oh.
and it's
Like-
supposed to be the town founder, who is Roland's like grandfather, great grandfather or something. Jess is here. Awesome. And there's this whole thing of Eugene Levy's character trying to get sign changed, and he finally gets them to understand that it looks inappropriate. And Roland's solution is to just put a thing inside it that says, "That's his sister."
Yeah, because he has a conversation, and like Eugene points out what's wrong, and then Roland's like, "Oh, I see that now." But like he wouldn't do that because that's his sister. Like it was like, yeah, but Roland, people don't know that that's his sister. So he's like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure."
Roland.
Oh dear.
Roland's
a lot, just a lot, all the time.
Just a lot. Basically, I watched that show for Dan Levy.
Oh, Dan Levy's great.
Yeah, Dan Levy's the best part of that show.
It's also nice that it's like that gay character is clearly written by
like Dan Levy's kind of the main creative force on the show.
And this is really important. Like David is Pan very explicitly throughout the show, and they have one of the best explainers for what being Pan is. And
really
that, when I first saw that scene, I actually just like started crying because I felt I had felt for the first time it was the first time I ever felt seen in my like sexuality in any piece of media.
Like how he explains it is it was so clearly written by somebody who actually understands and has been through that experience, rather than just like somebody like who has heard about what Pan is and is trying to like write it like that.
It's so nice to have actually wholesome media happening at all.
Yeah. Also, Annie Murphy, who plays Alexis,
David.
is so fucking good. David.
Oh my god. I don't know, David.
I don't know about that.
He has a new show coming out that's meant to be very good.
Yeah, I saw it.
What's it? What is it?
I don't remember the name of it.
I'm like gonna Google it so I can find the name, so I'm not talking out my ass. Hang on.
Oh, so
you can watch yourselves for the time being.
I think I need to look up a video specifically for where this lucky emblem is. I hate Frozen World and Kingdom Hearts. Everything looks the same.
Welcome to living in Canada.
Goddamn.
No, seriously, it is such a weird experience because cities are different places in winter. Like the feel.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Jess.
Jess, hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you really quickly introduce yourself to the chat?
Sure. My name is Jess. You may know me as ThatJess. Not
Sorry. Which Jess?
Which Jess?
That one. ThatJess.
Ah.
Oh, so helpful.
Not to be confused with any other Jess on the internet.
I don't actually know any other Jesses on the internet.
Jess,
I'm asking my brain.
to introduce people, as we've been asking them to talk about what their most recent like video or whatever they've made is, and then what piece of content or video or whatever you make that you're most proud of or that you're just really happy with from the last year or so.
Sure.
I didn't do that yet.
Oh no!
All right, Alice, you're next.
No, you go first.
Yeah, my last video that I released was what did I call it? It's Marvel's Avengers. What did art cost? It's a video essay about the Marvel's Avengers video game.
It's amazing. I really love that video.
I put a lot of work into it, and for a lot of those reasons, why I do think that it is probably the video that I think is my best video in terms of how good it is and how much work I put into it, the quality and everything.
Yeah.
so if you're interested in the Marvel's Avengers video game, or if you're not interested at all in the Marvel's Avengers video game, this video is for you. If you're just kind of indifferent on it, maybe it's not for you, but
no, it's
go
for
watch
you.
it anyway.
Go watch it.
It's for everybody.
It has to do with like sort of like what the game is and like where it goes wrong, and sort of like analyzing potentially why this game went so wrong.
Cool.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for telling us that. That sounds really
Yeah.
cool.
It's really cool. If you haven't seen it already, I really love that video.
Here.
Thank you.
Found the Annie Murphy show.
Okay,
and
what's it called?
It looks so good. Okay, so it's called Kevin Can Fuck Himself.
Oh my god, that name is perfect.
Already,
And-
I am in love.
It is described as a sort of serious/comic point of view of the sadly stereotypical TV sitcom wife who must forever put up with her disproportionately schlubby goofball husband. So basically, there's like part of the series is in like filmed like a traditionally brightly lit multicam sitcom where Annie Murphy as Alison and her friend Patty are second fiddles to the stars of the show, Kevin and Eric, their husbands. But then the show steps outside the world to the modern day single cam dark reality in which the consequences of how these women are treated play out.
Damn.
Oh,
Holy
damn.
shit. Where
Give
is
me the
this
title
playing?
again?
Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself.
And where
Excellent.
would we find this? Is it on a specific streaming service or network?
I'm not sure because I'm pretty sure it's going to be like available in America/Canada first. So as a Brit person, I just ignore that until it becomes obvious it's available in my country, honestly. Because who knows when that will be.
Okay. I'll look that up later. Or I'll just go to Annie Murphy's IMDb page and find it again when I'm not doing this.
Hey Alice.
Yeah.
What's your most recent work, and what are you most proud of?
I think my most recent one was the Trans Day Remembrance Vigil, which I do every year. But I think this year it was much more important for people. And I don't know, past year, I think probably Data. It was based on the script that I wrote back in like 2017, but switched it from being about trans stuff to being about like data technologies and like data mining. And yeah, so I'm just really proud of that short film, which I'm sure people have seen.
Data.
That's the one that went up on Abigail's channel, yeah?
Yes.
Data is
So good.
phenomenal, and what I liked about it, because I find it very easy to get really annoyed about people talking about data ethics and getting stuff wrong, and it's so well researched and well done.
That's what Abby's great at.
Oh yeah, well I just because it's my field, it's my space. That's what I am knowledgeable about at an academic level, and the amount of disinformation about it out there is so high. So
Find some
I'm really happy
ingredients around here.
that I can point people to that aren't in my field and be confident after having watched it that like it is a strong piece and that it'll get a lot of those concepts across.
By the way, just really quickly for chat, I'm collecting all the lucky emblems because that's how you unlock the secret ending, which I do want to play for everybody on the stream. So yeah, right now we're just collecting all the lucky emblems I've missed. I literally have a fucking page open on my end because it's actually easier to just read the instructions myself while people have grown-up discussions. So I'm just following directions to find the lucky emblems and just doing a little fucking around right now because
What's happening?
She's having fun on a snowball.
When LK gets excited, she wheezes.
I have fun.
Uh,
I have fun.
Just
Sounds
give me my
like
instruction manuals and
you're
start
really
doing
just-
that.
Yeah, it's normal.
Learning is fun. Whee!
I'm a grown-up. I'm an adult. I pay taxes.
Folks, I'm running into the last dregs of the things that I can manage for today. I need to go get some sleep and come back. I'm hoping to come back just in time for your Sorry, dog leapt off the bed and knocked the shark off. I'm hoping to come back in time for the last hour or two, but that's like 4 a.m. our time, so I may not make it back. So if I don't make it back, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been hanging out, both in the stream and in the chat. This has been such a beautiful time where I've had such great discussions with such wonderful people. Don't forget to share this stream around. My contacts are all gone to sleep, but get it out on Twitter.
Please
Get
share
it
the
out
stream.
on.
We need to get to 4,000 so that way I can read a sad Haunting of Hill House one shot.
Also-
And we have the lost posters of Ringo Bingo's films.
Yeah.
I would feel so
Beautiful.
Found by
so blessed.
Noah Polyphonic.
Yes.
The
I
movie
feel so
Fire
blessed to wake
Apocalypse
up
now.
and see 5K sitting around in our donations. So chat, that's your goal. Thank you everyone for helping out. And if I plug myself to y'all, cool. I'm gonna take that as a go for it.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm distracted by map.
I'm Harker the Storyteller. I've been making video essays on YouTube for a year. I'm working on one at the moment about education, how schools hurt kids, and I'm working on one about masculinity, the prison of masculinity, which references Foucault very heavily. I'm very excited.
Nice.
The filmmaking for it is some of my best yet. For that one, and the acting that I do in it is actually good as well, which I'm very impressed with because I am not an actor. So they'll be coming out soon. You can find me on YouTube, Harker the Storyteller, or on Twitter, LT Harker, where I mostly argue with TERFs because, I mean, someone's got to. But yeah, thanks everyone. Lovely to meet everyone. Lovely to hang out.
Thank you so much for your
Trent.
help and have a good night.
Yeah, I wish we had more time to talk. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I hope you have a
It
nice
has been
day.
a while. I hope to catch you all in the morning, and most importantly, trans rights.
Trans rights.
Trans
Have a good night,
liberation
Harker.
now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone want me to try and explain what's happening right now? Because I don't know.
It looks like Elsa's trying to murder a small boy
Well, so...
via her snowman.
Well, actually, he's in our party right now. He's actually one of our friends at the moment. Earlier, we did beat him up quite a lot. But, he's in our party now, and he's our friend.
Let's see.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, I know. But Kingdom Hearts doesn't make a lot of sense, even compared to most video games. Right now, I'm just doing this thing you may have noticed. I've been photographing Mickey shapes. It's literally, that's the lucky emblems. If I photograph all the lucky emblems, we will unlock the secret ending cutscene when I beat the game, which I just want because I want to yell about it.
Because like Disney have like put Mickey through circles in like every single film,
It's
every
true, they
single
have.
animated movie in the classic canon.
Like, I will say, as collectathons go, it's not a bad one. I mean, I do enjoy... I do enjoy me a good collectathon in a Kingdom Hearts. Like, after I've beat most of the worlds, just running around and checking things off a list is very satisfying, which is really all it is. Hang on. Turn around and go. Okay. I'm reading instructions on how to find a thing. But yeah, that's all that's really happening right now. We did a whole lot of story stuff earlier, and pretty soon we're gonna get back to story stuff because I'm almost through with these lucky emblems. So yeah.
I think it's kind of fun.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Donald and Goofy. What?
So, speaking about Disney story stuff, please tell me that you guys have seen the trailer for Luca and how gay it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god, definitely.
Yeah.
And
It's so
and
cute.
what?
The design is so adorable.
Wait, like
It's
actually,
Pixar's out to me, Jess.
Like, they're fully not going to make it gay, but they have also made it very gay. So it's one of those classic Disney, double-edged sword situations in which they have both created a movie about two boys on the Italian Riviera who have a secret that they can't tell anyone in the town about because the adults in the town think that it's wrong. And they make heart eyes at each other quite a lot during the trailer. But obviously it's not gay.
No.
They're just sea
Of course
monsters.
Yeah, which
They
is...
just
What are you on
turn
about?
into mermaids
We're
when
not
water
just, like,
touches
taking
them.
Shape of Water, Disneyifying it.
Yeah, it's like Call Me By Your Name and Shape of Water, and put them together
Coco.
with some
Just
rosy
smashed
cheeked little
together.
boys.
And obviously, like being a monster has never accidentally been used as allegory for being queer at any point whatsoever. They're definitely not in any way.
We didn't talk about
any
Jekyll
form
and
of
Hyde or
media.
anything for a while.
Yeah, it's not like specifically sea monsters in particular have had a connection to queerness in certain media and myths at any point.
Yeah,
Is this why I like Little
it's
Mermaid so much?
Should we explain what your insinuation there?
So
Hans Christian Andersen
so
wrote
Hans
Little
Christian
Mermaid and was
Andersen's
gay,
Mermaid.
and Howard Ashman is the one who adapted it into Disney. And he
who is
gay.
also gay, and also the Little Mermaid has heavy trans allegory. I mean, she literally has bottom surgery. Like, that's what her wish is.
Holy shit.
That's what it is.
She did wish for a vagina. That's not wrong.
Like,
LRS, like
really just
reconstruction
wanted
surgery.
her entire lower half, right? To be with the people that she wanted to be with and to be seen the way she wanted to be seen. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not subtle. It's
Also,
very
hearing Howard Ashman sing part
Oh
of
my
World
God.
is heartbreaking. Because it's like he's like a gay man who like died of AIDS, and like
Can we
hearing him sing
where we
that?
have most of this information from? Because I want to show
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Friend of Alice and mine, Bev Beach, who's fucking amazing and awesome, and everybody should be following, and is criminally undersubscribed to. So is Alice, but I'm gonna go grab the actual video. She has a deep dive on The Little Mermaid and its adaptation and the history behind it and the writers behind it, and it is a phenomenal video. And like, I mean, I always knew that Little Mermaid was a queer allegory, but like, it's there's a lot
Queer
there.
allegory.
But it's like it's purposely a queer allegory. It's not like
Yeah.
accidentally that.
It's not
Like,
accidental.
It's a gay man like
It's
literally personifying his like want to be with a man, but the society not letting him.
And
I'm gonna do... oh, sorry, go for it.
yeah, sorry. So the video's name is "Part of Your World: The Sound of Intergenerational Queer Longing," and I don't think you could really put it better than that. Like the interconnections. So I just posted it in the stream chat for people. So go put that in like your watch later.
Watch later.
I love that.
So I am going to do a secondary recommendation. I did a video on my channel that I collaborated with a channel called Dream Sounds about Disney and the AIDS crisis, in which obviously we talk about Ashman a lot. And Dream Sounds, I'm going to put I just like search for Howard in their videos. Their whole channel is about Disney and music, and they've done multiple videos about Ashman and his songs and stuff. Like if you want to get on board with Ashman stuff, like there are loads of people on YouTube doing really amazing videos about like his legacy and stuff that he did. Go on like a deep dive. Just keep clicking the suggested videos after you watch each of these videos that we've recommended, because he's like such a fascinating person that I feel like doesn't get enough attention from people who are like fans of his work and don't realize who he is.
The Renaissance which like pulled Disney out of financial ruin was literally because of Ashman.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he like one day just called all the like story department to like one room and just like sat down and explained to them how a musical works.
Yeah.
So that they would just get it.
Yeah. Well, the I Want
it's great.
songs, the I Want songs from Disney are entirely Ashman's doing, like, if we're honest with ourselves. And that has, I mean, if you've ever gone to the Disney World and loved, like, Wishes or, like, any of the nighttime shows, Happily Ever After, or, you know, those are all, the emotional pull you feel, the emotions you feel while at those shows are entirely because of Ashman's legacy. Like, it's cannot be understated how much he basically is, like, the backbone of everything we love about Disney today.
It also makes it even, when you learn about Ashman, it makes it even more heartbreaking that Disney refused to have any like queer characters, because all of their stories are based on like a queer story arc of feeling that you don't really fit in the world that you're in, and then trying to like find somewhere else that you can belong. Because that's the template that Ashman created from his own life.
Oh my god.
I think what's about it is that it was media made by queer people trying to express their stories and not being allowed to say that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Disney has made bank off of those tellings, and still refused to like put any gay or trans or like any other sort of queer characters in their stuff.
You know, as a queer woman, I'm used to reading queerness into things where it was never intended to be, and I've just gotten used to telling myself that my reading is valid even if there was no author intent. So for there to actually be author intent that was deliberately obfuscated was very upsetting.
Well, Luca, one of Luca's writers is gay, for example.
Oh, okay, yeah,
like that's another thing where I'm like, God, I really hope it happens. And we've heard there's been like very little information released about it. But part of me is like, surely if there was any kind of actual queerness in it, it would have leaked by now. Like people would know about it. But it's just so, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those ones that has like deep subtext that's been written by a queer man, and that we won't actually get anything confirmed. But we just like to meme about it for now.
I'm going to be right back.
I just watched the trailer and it was pretty cool, but is this Ringo Bingo? Like, what is Ringo Bingo?
Ringo Bingo is like an Italian filmmaker from like the mid 20th century who is just like setting more in the field of cinema.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that like nobody actually watches because their stuff is kind of hard to watch, but they make all the film school nerds learn about him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like Francis Ford Coppola recut Apocalypse Now so many times because he wanted to like emulate Ringo Bingo much more.
I think I'll talk a little bit more in depth about Ringo Bingo and his history. I mean, he is the greatest Italian director of all time. This is pretty widely accepted. I mean, he revolutionized Antarctic filmmaking. His Red Period, while controversial, really, explored color in black and white film. Fuck, I can't keep the bit up. It's too hard.
You were so close.
He died as he lived, hang gliding, while screaming, "Fuck you, Y2K!" We don't know why he said that. It was 2008.
We think that he started Y2K, actually.
There's a conspiracy theory about that, but I don't put much stock in conspiracy theories.
What's happening?
For Jess's face right now, just like going through all the emotions of thinking.
What's happening right now?
I'm explaining Ringo Bingo.
Hell yeah!
My mic did not pick up my facial expression, but you pretty much nailed it there, Alice.
Polyphonic, Noah from Polyphonic, he posted, he unearthed several of Ringo Bingo's famous
film
home
posters.
I mean, what's really impressive is that Ringo Bingo,
let's see,
posed for all of his films, and I just think that's really phenomenal. I mean, John Carpenter was really inspired by him doing that. If you scroll up in
Ringo Bingo.
If you scroll up in
Ringo Bingo is a filmmaker that we made up.
Photo. Okay, so to break the bit, lady night, Emily and I were up way too late on Thursday chatting, and Emily was researching Italian directors earlier before lady night was on, and we were talking. I was explaining what we were doing before, and I wanted to think of just like, because I didn't know any of the names. I just wanted to think of like random joke Italian name. But instead, my brain just decided that the words that would come out of my mouth were Ringo Bingo.
And then I began screaming like Martin Scorsese ain't shit, Tarantino eat my dick, Ringo Bingo till I die. Just...
I think your exact statement was Quentin Tarantino could never, and Steven Spielberg can eat my ass.
I don't know, the tweets are on there. You can go back to Thursday and find them.
Us at 2 to 3 a.m. on Thursday was wild.
But what makes all this better is Arnok is now creating a documentary about Ringo Bingo.
Yes, we are going to unearth all the deep lore about Ringo Bingo.
So
Famed film historian, he really innovated the use of of color in his black and white films.
Color in black and white film. But the point of the fake documentary, we're gonna get a bunch of different video essayists to guest on it in their own style, is to make fun of film snobbery and gatekeeping in art, and the idea that you have to.
You're not a real film lover if you don't know the works of Ringo Bingo.
Exactly. And also that sort of like self-righteous elitism of like, well, I know about the real directors, so I'm cool.
Yeah, like that kid in film school who like is quiet, but like they expect everybody to shut up when they talk. And then they just talk, like bring out all these names, and no one else in the room knows.
That description just
makes them
like
feel better.
Dealt me psychic damage.
Yeah, it's the type of person that like gets pleasure from behaving like they're smarter than everyone else in the room.
Yeah.
And I want to make fun of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's ridiculous, and I hate gatekeeping in art.
I can also see all of those, because they're all usually like white boys, but I can see like their faces so clearly watching your like documentary, just going like, this isn't what it's like. Ringo Bingo's not a real person. Yeah.
What we're hoping is that we'll catch maybe one or two people like that and get them to just, the ones that'll just lie about stuff.
Just to get people to buy into the bit. Like, of course I know about Ringo Bingo. His seminal work, Mamma Mia Pizzeria, is one of my favorite movies.
It would be amazing if we got like, I don't know, if we paid off a bunch of film students to like talk about it.
I don't have the time for that.
We don't have to. We have because we already have all of our
that's true.
Video essays. We're gonna guest in it because everybody who's been on the stream so far has been like, "This is great."
This is great. I buy into this bullshit 120%.
I don't think it's bullshit. I think we're gonna catch some fans who just, those people who like watch one video essay and they think they know everything about it and then take it as gospel and never check on for themselves.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna catch a lot of people like that.
I mean, yeah, but I'm so happy to do that. What's the I forget. The Mandela effect. If we just Mandela effect Ringo Bingo into existence.
Well, Kenzie already placed
I made a wiki
page.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I'll add him to my watch list.
Oh my god, what if we made a letterboxd?
We're taking it too far, but
I mean,
I know, but also
I kind of want to like make a movie in the style of like an old sort of like 70s or 60s movie. Just like say what Ringo Bingo like made it.
If someday we could like somehow get all of us into a space for a period of time to shoot that, I would absolutely make a Ringo Bingo short film. That is just maximum.
I would want to go to Italy and actually like shoot it with my Italian.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. But like
Would we have to go to Antarctica?
We can't go to film in Antarctica.
We can go film.
That's quitter top.
We can come here and we can film in winter, because if you go out in the middle of fucking Saskatchewan in the right places, it don't look like nothing.
Yeah, let's do that, and that can be like
Journey to Antarctica
periods. where like everyone's just dressed in red,
Yeah.
but like everything else is in a black and white filter.
Oh yeah, it's so good.
It's a deep metaphor about how memory fades.
Oh my god, I
And
can't
like, it would
with
be
y'all.
great if we actually just made a good movie, and then just
I-
said like Ringo Bingo like
Rate
did
it?
it in like
I-
1962.
Yeah, well, and I just think because I noticed in particular, especially like a lot of marginalized people are I think we're so much more
Oh no, I'm so scared.
concerned about our work being like valid enough or whatever,
Oh,
because we
yes.
just don't have that like cishet white guy hyper confidence, you know.
Yeah, and there's also
Oh, the
fact that,
confidence of a straight white man. God damn.
Like, there's also like the typical ways that people judge whether like a piece of art is good. Like all of those ways are like filtered through a like white cishet lens. So if you tell a story that doesn't fit that lens, it more likely gets like downgraded, even if it is a script.
Yeah, well, and I think we also, I think in some ways the form that we critique things can limit the way that we're creative. Like, I think with film and acting, like there's a kind of a hyper focus on realism and performance, and there are a few people who step outside of that. Like, there's basically just Nicolas Cage doing full absurdism at all times, regardless of whether or not the script actually wants absurdism.
No, let's be fair. He does it 2 out of 3 times.
Sorry, 2 out of 3 times. But
he does that on a cycle. I don't know if you've noticed, but he does like one movie where he acts like seriously, and then 2 absurdist movies, and then 1 movie where he acts.
and like some of his best work is when he's going full absurdist, and I just think that like we shouldn't limit creativity to a specific, you know, if you do XYZ thing and you match XYZ metric, that is good movie now, you know, rather than like allowing us to explore emotion and feeling and stories outside of a limited scope.
Yeah. I mean, I watched Truman Show last night, and that doesn't really follow a 3-act structure. Like,
Oh, that's really. I also watched that last night. Weird.
Hell yeah.
like,
Yeah.
The
it
gays
doesn't-
just love Truman Show.
I wonder why.
I saw a TikTok where it was a clip from it, and I was like, I don't want to watch a clip of a movie on TikTok. I'm just gonna go watch the movie.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it because I think it would inform the story that I'm writing right now quite a lot, and it has, at least in its structure. Because I was like bashing my head against the wall by like trying not to make the Matrix, but just kept accidentally making the Matrix. So I needed to diversify my like influence pool.
Oh man, I always forget how good the Truman Show is, and then every time I rewatch it, I'm like, oh yeah, this movie's really good.
Well, I
Yeah.
have a really good example of a movie that like is created outside of the traditional view of what films should be. Speed Racer.
I knew it was the Wachowskis.
Yeah, well, no shit, but like Speed Racer is it's this like.
Did you watch movies with Mikey's video
Yeah,
where
but
he called it a
I've had that.
cubist film?
I don't know if cubist is quite the right term, but I like that term for it, so I'm just gonna use it anyway. But like, I don't know. I've had feelings about that movie just being out there and different anyway. Well before people were saying it, and I just
No, they actually took advantage of the art form and like said, no, we're not just gonna like rip off Hitchcock like everybody else. We're just going to instead think, okay, this movie is about an energetic kid racing cars. So, like, let's make every bit of the filmmaking energetic and chaos. And it's like, yeah, tell the story via how you tell the story as well as just by telling it.
well, yeah, and I think like to me, it doesn't need to be literal. It can be, like you can have the spinning car thing where he's racing the ghost of his fucking brother.
Oh my
throughout the whole
God.
film. Like that's
Oh my god.
fucking brilliant, right? Because it's telling your story in multiple avenues, and it's not just in the
I
text.
just didn't expect fucking Matthew Fox to give me feelings when I watched that movie. That was not what I was expecting when I turned on fucking Speed Racer and that asshat appeared.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I watched Speed Racer just so that I could say I've watched all the Wachowski movies because it was the last one I hadn't seen. And to be honest, I kind of wish that spot had been taken by Jupiter Ascending because Speed Racer is great.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but like you said, it's filmed in such a way that, like, I mean, after you've been watching it, you just need a nap. So after you've had your nap and then your feelings can hit you and you can think about it. But it's just exhausting.
That movie gave me a migraine.
I was like running around the house afterwards, like it filled me with energy.
Oh, it accelerates. You're just like, yeah, let's go. But what my point is, like, even if Speed Racer was a bad movie, I'd still like to see more films try to experiment in doing things outside of the very limited way that we create art. And I think that's a problem that a lot of newer art forms experience to a degree. Like, film has been expanding over time, and I think as you know, things progress, perhaps we'll get more recognition for films that aren't a 3-act structure in a very specific manner. But as someone who wants to design video games and things, like, it's been interesting to see games begin to try to experiment a little bit more with form and meaning and how you express that. Because, like, you look at, like, the 90s into the early 2000s, and we had this sort of hyper form of, like, the only really storytelling that we're doing is emotional storytelling. Who gives a shit about, like, plot or anything like that? We're just doing emotional storytelling. Like, the original Doom is about expressing an emotional journey. It has nothing to do with anything else. Like, it is purely emotional storytelling through interaction. And that was kind of the model for a period of time there. And then things kind of went in the exact opposite direction for a good while, you know, where things were very explicit and linear, and like the storytelling didn't, like, the gameplay rarely had anything to do with the story or any reinforcement. They just, like, had gameplay and then you had story, and they were kind of a separate thing. And now I feel like we're trying to kind of see a merge of the two. You know, you look at, like, games like Hades that I think really try to express something with their mechanics as much as with their writing. Hollow Knight has a lot going on there as well with like mechanical storytelling and reinforcing the textual storytelling. And I just think storytelling through the medium is what interests me more.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see teams explore that.
It's why I really liked WandaVision when it first, through the first few episodes, because, like, it wasn't... So, to explain the Hitchcock segment I did before, like, how Hitchcock basically filmed his things was he would do it via just coverage. So, like, he would, and, like, cut from one thing to another and, like, allow you to think that, like, the first thing he showed you informs the second thing. And that's still how we basically do films, like, just by shooting coverage rather than, like, using the fact that you can literally show somebody anything in any way to, like, tell your story. So when WandaVision decides, hey, each episode is just a sitcom, and we're gonna, like, shift between different styles of, like, coverage to tell you the story. Like, in the first episode, which I think is fairly safe to talk about now, but spoilers incoming, it's all shot, like, very 1950s sitcom style, like, with the camera, like, quite far away, only really ever, like, wide shots or, like, a medium shot, because that's all you could really get with the technology back in the 50s, because cameras were, like, the size of a car. But then there's, like, the one scene where they're at the dining room table where they come in on close-ups, and it feels much more modern. And that, just in that difference, it's telling you the story by how it's, like, showing you the story, rather than just letting the characters, like, talk about it all. Which is why episode 4 is a bit because it's kind of just kills that.
I'm excited to watch this series through. I find it really hard to watch things separated. I forget all of the details, and I would end up just having to rewatch all of the episodes.
I think there's only 2 episodes
Every
left,
week?
so you'll be able to do
I think
it.
one. I think they released them.
One or
I think
two.
we only have one more episode. Is what?
Anyway.
Yeah, it's-
Once
Yeah, I
it's done,
forgot if there was 9 or
kind
10.
of thing. Otherwise, I can't really like digest what's going on.
That's valid.
But it's why I've much preferred the newer way of presenting stuff, because like watching stuff weekly back in the day sucked, and like kind of hated TV for a long time.
I mean,
Binging is nice, but I've really.
Weekly because I get to sit with each episode and think about what that
Yeah.
episode did.
Yeah.
Whereas when I
Right.
binge something, it all bleeds into one, and then I kind of forget about it really quickly.
It's not binging; it's that I need to watch it at my own pace, and my own
that's
pace is very specific. And so, like, I will probably like watch an episode, leave it for a couple hours, come back, watch another episode, like. But I can't do the like watch it over 2 months because I will not remember most of it. You know.
I mean, next Friday the last one comes out, so if you started now,
Yeah, I
you'll
probably
fine.
will start on Monday.
Yeah.
I'll probably watch like an episode or 2 a day, and then like that for me is a perfect pace, you know, for a lot of shows, especially if I want to digest them.
That makes a lot of sense, but I've really enjoyed the weekly schedule of this and sitting with it for a week, like Alice said, but then just also experiencing every episode with everybody else at the same time. That's been
there is that
fun.
like group experience that happens that like I say what you will about Lost. I did enjoy the experience of like everybody like talking about it when every new episode came out. The whole, you know, I mean, they call it the water cooler thing when I was in fucking high school, but like still.
You just leave a locker instead, then I guess.
I guess. But
I
I've really enjoyed that
those for
aspect of it. It's like the community around it. In fact, like I'll watch it on Friday or on Saturday, and then most of my friends have also seen it, and then we can talk about that episode and theorize about what we think's gonna happen next episode.
yeah.
No, I like that aspect. I just my brain is funny and weird, and so I want to be very clear. I think it's actually good for a lot of shows to do that style thing. I just can't engage with it, unfortunately.
Fine. And like when you as you watch it, we can. Because the thing is, because I've watched it weekly, I can separate all the episodes really cleanly in my head.
Yeah, that is the thing I will say for binging shows. I definitely forget like when things happened.
Well, this is what I mean. Like, I don't binge a lot of shows unless I get hyper focused, in which case I probably binge it twice in a row. But
I do binge.
But my point was that like if you watch it, you can tell us what episode you're on, and I'll be able to like think, okay, yes, they've seen all of this stuff, but not that stuff yet. Whereas like with other shows where like I watch 3 episodes in a go, I can't tell you when the person ate the poison cupcake if it was episode 1 or 3.
totally.
I really love that. You clearly made that up, but that is a plot point of a movie I hold dear.
But I want to bring up a point because I think this is just talking about like using form to make a point with video. Like in my coming out video, the first, so it's structured very, very specifically to reinforce the point. And I'm really proud of how that came about. But like the first half is these cut between like me playing in my egg self, like my pre coming out and presenting how I feel comfortable now.
You're Jekyll.
Yeah, my Jekyll, and cutting between him, the egg character, and it is a character, it does not mean it is very much a character, and cutting between him and this narrator character, and narrator character is kind of like it's a representation of like thoughts and feelings and things, but like not really a person, and then every single shot of the egg character, the frame gets smaller. Just by small amounts throughout until the last shot where it is like uncomfortably tight. It's almost a square frame.
It's almost letterboxed.
Like it's almost letterboxed, and in that section I have a line about I feel trapped in this body, in this frame, and I move my arms out when I say that, and I literally push the frame out. I am literally liberating myself from the restrictions of the film I am in. Which like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, that's not me being amazing or anything. It's just that like, shows could just do that. Movies could just do that. right?
I mean, WandaVision does that.
WandaVision does it, exactly. But I'm saying,
Yeah,
like, there isn't
exactly.
enough stuff that explores that. Like, use your medium to its fullest. If you
I mean,
can
it sounds
find
like
medium
this show
structure-
with What's-Her-Face from Schitt's Creek is going to be amazing.
Yeah,
on
I'm
that
excited
level.
for that. And that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like, I want to see people explore mediums more fully and with purpose. Because
So my old job used to be I used to be a dramaturg, specifically within the British practice, which is kind of like a mixture of the American and German sort of traditions. And that was literally my whole job. My whole job was in theatre, as ensuring that like everything about the form, the content, like every single thing was working together cohesively to drive towards whatever the director wanted. And I will say that one of the things that is difficult is coming at it not just from the artistic point of view of like what the artist wants to do and putting it all together, but like working out how an audience will react to that. Because for a lot of things, if you're going to be drawing attention to something, it completely changes the experience for the audience, often in a very like Brechtian way or something like that, where it's like, well, if they become aware of the form because you have done something that draws attention to it, you also have to deal with the fact that's going to affect the audience, not necessarily in the way that you intend it in terms of like, oh, look, the form and the message are together, but also like it's going to make them really consciously think about the fact that they're not watching anything true. Like you've pointed out the artifice in what you've done, and I think that in itself can be really interesting. But it's one of those things that there's probably a lot of instances in which like drawing attention to the mode and to the form is going to end up backfiring on the artistic vision, if that makes sense, because you end up kind of being like, hey guys, look over here, we're doing a thing. So it can work really well, but I think the more that people do it, the more it becomes acceptable for it to happen, the less that people feel like it's drawing attention to itself, because they're so used to it happening that it doesn't necessarily have that same jolting effect that it would otherwise, which is kind of interesting.
I found through watching WandaVision that so like Malcolm in the Middle and Modern Family both break the fourth wall in interesting ways, but then don't really do anything with that outside of just like jokes and a bit of a framing device for exposition. Like Modern Family will literally cut to interviews with the family members, which clearly shows like this is a TV show. But I don't know, it never does anything further to play with that. And Malcolm in the Middle just has Malcolm every episode turn to camera periodically and like narrate to the audience, which clearly pulls us out and thinks, oh, this is a TV show, but the rest of it is just shot very Hitchcockian. And
I should be clear about something. Yeah, not every story needs that or should do that. I just think it would be nice if we saw people try to tell stories that can use that.
Aronok, I forget, have you watched Fleabag?
I need to watch that. I know I need to watch that. I haven't.
I was gonna say, well, we're just talking about fourth wall breaks and shit.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
I think it works best kind of like on the in the Fleabag sense when it is tied, for me at least, to the emotional elements of the story. Like I'm very much more interested in, this bitch was raised on fan fiction. I'm much more interested in the emotional side of things and like MacGuffin plots, where it's like, my favorite thing to ask people when they say that they enjoyed the movie Ant-Man is like, what is the plot of that movie? And they're like, they had to find a suit, or they had to get rid of a suit. They had to be small, and they had to ride an ant. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't actually remember anything about that movie, because what you liked about it was the jokes, was the tone, was the emotions, was the characters, rather than the plot of the movie itself. But it's like getting people to separate those things out and like understand actually what you're interested in a movie is like the emotional side of things, not necessarily this like, a lot of blockbusters now will have this like weird MacGuffin plot going on, and where I think a lot of them fall down is that they don't then replace that with emotions. They just think that plot bit is enough, and I think that's the reason why WandaVision.
That like I don't love the Ant-Man movies, but Endgame inexplicably Scott What's-His-Face has some of the best scenes in it.
Because like, he's the point of view character, right? He's the one that we figure out this like 5 years later world through. So,
Yeah.
like, he's the easiest one to link to. But just
Well,
on Fleabag, my favorite thing about how Fleabag breaks fourth walls is there's this one scene where she's like having casual sex with someone, and we get a fourth wall break while she's having sex.
Yeah.
And it's so clear, like the reason she's like the fourth wall breaks are her being in her own head, and it's basically us like seeing what she's thinking. So the fact that she's dissociating while having this sort of like casual sex moment is really interesting.
Yeah.
And like that's a really cool way to like tell that bit of story, and bit of character. Like
Which I feel like I at least didn't pick up on right away that was what was happening. But it's definitely like by the end of season 1, you realize like, yeah, this is the moments when she's like disconnecting.
Yeah.
I think also, like, I think that the interesting thing about Fleabag is that's one reading of it, but I think there's definitely other ways you can read, like, how she's interacting with an audience, because I think there's definitely arguments to be made that it's not herself. It's very specifically that she is interacting with something other than herself, that she's being observed, and it's actually about her, like, the observation of an outsider observing her that changes the way in which she acts. Although I won't say any more about it because I feel like a lot of that is to do with like later episodes and seasons and her interaction as it develops.
That's also quite true if you read the play because it's a one-woman show, and like so it's about her relationship with the audience.
Bosses. Interesting. This goddamn ocean. Sorry, I'm trying to do this game.
Learning so much.
Don't
about
you be mean to the ocean? She's my big wife.
Yeah, but they keep giving me these stupid big bosses in the middle of. Stop hitting me! Leave! You're too big of a boss.
Earlier, when teacups just appeared for like literally 5 seconds.
What was your attack?
Riding a teacup. I was like, sure. That's
yeah.
canon.
So yeah, that's actually a fight move that you can do. It's called they call them attractions. And it's literally like, oh, I just fought bosses with a Disney ride.
Love that.
Yep. It's a great time.
Oh, is that what that water thing you keep doing is? Okay.
Probably. I just realized I got to an island and I don't know if it's the right one, so I'm checking my list while swimming around. It's fine. There's stuff here.
Wait, have you been taking notes on the game?
So I have a page up that has the list of the lucky emblems I'm trying to find, and I'm literally like going to places according to that list.
I thought you'd like been taking notes throughout the game.
God damn, no, I'm not that good.
Like, text adventure, like
that would be extremely involved. I'm not that organized.
I'm so stressed about how much wet sand is covering this character right now.
I viscerally dislike sand.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Worst texture.
Agreed. The beach is great in theory, but then in practice is just all the worst textures.
Yeah. And then you go to a stone beach thinking, oh, well, it's not sand, but it's even worse.
No, then you just cut your foot on rocks, or at least that's been my experience.
I'm
swimming off a dock. Swim off a dock. No sand, no rocks. You can go swim. You can just get back on the dock.
Or we could not go in the biome where we die if we stop moving.
Just go to a swimming pool.
Yeah, but
just get in a bath.
That's just an artificial biome.
Like swimming, okay?
No, that's fine. That's fair. I don't.
See now,
I can't.
My experience with swimming, because I am thick, is that if I just hold still, my fat will make me float, and I can just lay back.
Damn!
My body fat ratio is so low that I sink.
Oh.
I have seen a picture, and you are a tiny woman.
It's and it's mostly muscle, like the stuff I do have. So it's all.
Okay.
I just think, and I can't swim, and it's.
Oh.
Like Mr.
You can beat people up, and that's kind of cooler.
Yeah.
Prepare to set
throw me in the water and I'm toast.
I started swimming like without any assistance when I was 3, so I was a weird kid. I spent most of my time in the water.
Same. But you sound like Sun Wukong, the great the Monkey King from the Journey to the West. Who kicks everyone's ass until you put him in the water.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't want to be in the water anymore.
How have you been, Alice?
Let
It's
me
been
out.
way too long since we hung out and chat. Well, I mean, I guess it goes for like everyone in here, including like Mila and Rowan, because we've never talked, and that's like infinite time.
So it's been like 25 years since you last spoke to them.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Gates,
Oh hey, somebody else is here. I'm gonna go say.
I'm gonna.
Wait. Oh.
I was supposed to.
I just had a moment where I realized there's actually people alive
Gates!
who spoke to somebody 25 years ago who they haven't spoken
Okay.
to.
I've got.
And the concept of that is creepy to me.
Hi Gates. I was gonna test you and give you. I've been doing
I
this
already did.
professional thing
Okay.
where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop you on call and you'll be live in 3, 2, 1, and then I drop them so they have some build up. I need to do it this time.
Gates
I
is
already
my
prepped.
friend. Hi.
Hello.
Okay, you're so cute. Oh my god.
I love Gates. Gates is my friend, and I'm tired. Hi.
God, hello.
Hi. You've gotten me at my Ringo Bingoist before. This is not new to you.
No, not at all. And it's always fun. I will be perfectly honest.
I've learned so much about Ringo Bingo tonight.
Yeah, we should
I'm gonna
have
level
a
with you,
film
gang.
night where we will watch a Ringo Bingo movie.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
We'll-
level with you,
we'll
gang.
stream
I
it.
saw the word come up every now and then while I was doing other stuff yesterday because I was very, very busy. And I saw it and I still have no idea what it means.
So Ringo
Ringo
Bingo
knows
is a
what.
made-up filmmaker that Aronach, Emily, and I invented.
What?
Innovated Italian cinema.
No, he's my favorite film person, film guy.
Yeah.
He's the film guy.
I was
the film-
I
yeah.
saw Ringo Bingo on Tommy Wiseau's Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
he's made up.
He
he's
really
the dude
innovated
with,
the
like,
use of color in black and white films, revolutionized the Antarctic film scene. We have a lot of bullshit lore about
Okay,
Ringo Bingo.
You keep saying that it's bullshit, like you keep saying that use of color in black and white film, like it means nothing. But it was very deliberate on his part to talk about how memory fades, because when you film it and you're there, it's in color, but then when you look back, it's in black and white.
Yeah,
That's why you worked so hard on the color.
Oh my god, that's going in the, like that exact explainer of it, like
I want to
just-
whoever said
it's
that
the-
and give him a medal.
to explain the bit. Okay, Emily and I were chatting really late at night, as we do often, and
They got
Gates, when I'm not in my Discord, lately I've been talking to these bitches.
and we
Let's check it out.
we usually get on some bonkers shit, and I was trying to explain that Emily had been researching Italian directors, and I just like didn't understand any of what she was saying, and it was just kind of funny because she kept saying names like, oh yes, of course I have to be talking about, and my brain's cycling through like trying to think of like a funny fake Italian name, and all I get is Ringo Bingo.
I mean, Gianluca Decelli. That's another made-up one you could have.
Somebody made fan art of Ringo, a new one.
A new one?
Where? Where is it?
I'm putting it in the chat.
Oh my god!
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Edited Wiseau's page.
That's so good.
I love this stream.
That's so
Stream
cute.
power.
That's cool.
Incredible.
Stupid
Fucking
joke
incredible.
Get legs.
Oh my god. Ringo Bingo, Francis Ford Coppola, according to.
Goddamn.
Wiseau's
I am
obsession
in
with
awe.
Ringo Bingo wasn't intense.
I am in awe right now.
You
I will
have.
say,
Go ahead.
I'm a little disappointed that it's not in black and white, but it's so good.
Listen, the man did technically exist in a color world. It did happen.
Yeah, he
Like the
wasn't
metaphor of
hero.
memory.
Hero. It wasn't,
If you haven't already, if you scroll up in voice text, you can find an actual photo of Ringo Bingo.
You know.
Wait,
If you watch-
where's the fan art you're looking at? I can't see it.
Oh, there's also fan art
Oh,
somewhere.
if you go to stream chat, it's the link I posted most recently.
Okay, thanks.
The Imgur link.
Oh, this art's incredible.
Isn't it amazing? I was sitting here thinking, like, I should try to draw Ringo Bingo, but then I had to be watching chat, so.
I can't even.
what
My
I should
brain
do right
can't function. I cannot believe the awe that I am in of Ringo Bingo.
Listen, I'm here to guide you through this terrible time.
You know,
Space Panini, honestly, just Jason Alexander. Just think that body type.
I imagined Ringo Bingo to be Jason Alexander, but with an enormous mustache.
That's Luigi
really
Bingo.
I'm really glad you said mustache.
Oh
my God,
Damn it! Yeah.
Space Panini, you drew this? That's wonderful. Thank you.
It's Green Augment, drew it, right?
No, you got it right. Like this is very much the right body type and vibe of like Can you direct? I'm gonna. Okay, I just said hey in the Twitch chat. Can you PM me? Because I would love to include this in the fake
documentary, and therefore we need to credit you.
And I would like, like your Twitter or something else that I can link.
In the
As well as written permission to use it.
Yeah, exactly. I want to make sure that I properly, push people towards you. As an artist, it's important to me that people get credited properly.
Aww.
I do commission work, and I know how fucking annoying it is when people are shitty about that.
Right? I did a commission for a streamer to make emojis, and they never credited me. They use my emojis constantly. Never. I'm still mad.
Oh my goodness.
You should be mad.
Right.
Fuck them.
Right?
It's gross, but yeah,
It didn't end up all bad. They were seen by Dan Olsen, who wanted to know where they got their emojis, and they did, when asked, told him, and so I got to make an Amy emoji for Dan's stream. It was fun.
Excuse me.
That is cool.
That's
Also,
that's
bless
awesome.
you.
I love his cat. She's so cute. Sometimes I watch his streams just because I hope the cat will show up.
Cat is very good. I hate to be very annoying, but
What's up?
can I have the link to like the stream proper, because I'm not seeing it.
Twitch.tv/LK the Brave.
I'll put it in voice chat for you. Here we go.
Well, thank you.
There, now you just have to
I
click.
literally just woke up because it's 6:30 here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am technology?
Oh, don't worry about it, sweet girl.
Who is computer?
What is computer? What is computer?
Help, computer.
No,
Isn't a computer in a garment of clothing for tortoises?
Oh, that
I'm gonna
is.
need to
No,
look
you're
up a
close.
video
That's
for
a
where the
shell.
computer
I think you're.
is.
Arrow.
That's a shell. I think you're thinking of Dell. Very close, though.
Sorry, I'm literally. I have to go and look up a video for where this particular lucky emblem is because I can't find it. I'm just collecting lucky emblems so we get the secret cutscene at the end.
we want the cutscene.
We do.
We need the cutscene.
So I'm doing this right now before I go and start endgame shit.
Endgame.
Oh, wow, word. Endgame shit. I really messed up.
Kind of, but endgame shit takes forever, and I'm not gonna skip cutscenes as often for endgame shit because I like the cutscenes. They're dumb, but I like them.
That's adulthood right there. It's like, this is stupid, but I love it.
Lady Knight, you have a very, very good Twitch chat because I've read the comments 2 or 3 times and I have chuckled to myself every time.
Oh, good.
Well,
I'm
actually,
so glad.
Ginger, this is really important to the lore. No, Luigi Bingo actually got more recognition at the start, and that's why their rivalry began.
Yeah.
And then Ringo Bingo burned his films, which is why none of them have survived, or one of them. I forget.
That's why
I
he's
think only
also
one of them.
canceled. Ringo Bingo is a problematic fave.
Yeah, Ringo Bingo is a problematic fave, but I mean,
Oh
you
my
can't
God.
deny that he's the best at what he does, and
I'm learning so much about Ringo Bingo.
I really love the sentence cited as an important inspiration for Night Trap.
Night Trap? I don't know what that is.
Oh, buckle up. Night Trap was a full motion video game that was about, like, it's less lascivious than I'm going to make it sound, but it was about protecting a slumber party from ninjas.
I love that you started with lascivious and then said that sentence.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that it's that not lascivious.
I mean, that doesn't sounds really funny.
But because there was, like, live action video footage of a slumber party, every conservative politician was like, video games are just scum. And it kind of directly led to the creation of the ESRB.
Yep. That and Mortal Kombat, those two games combined were what created the ESRB.
It's not like Night Trap did it alone. I don't think Night Trap did it alone.
Whoa, I can take pictures underwater? Damn, can I take selfies underwater?
What's an SOB? Sorry.
The ESRB is the regulatory board that rates games, like gives them like their content ratings, like M for mature and stuff.
It's not a government organization.
No, it's not. It's
like
self-regulatory. Yeah,
like
it's
the
within
the BBFC for the British film certification. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, from what I understand, and I haven't done a lot of research, so grain of salt, the general idea was Congress was gearing up to make, like, a regulatory board, and then the games industry kind of got their stuff together and said, what if we did this?
Yeah, so that you can't ban it. The thing is, I'm down with certification boards, because, I remember going to the cinema once and hearing two kids asking their mum if they can go see Sausage Party because it was an animation. And when the mum went to buy a ticket, she saw that it was an 18 and was like, nope.
I want to be clear. The moral I was trying to get at was not like, and then the dastardly ESRB. That's just how that turned out.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna have to drop out, unfortunately. This has been a wild ride from start to finish.
Thank you so much for coming, Rowan. It was a pleasure having you and talking to you a bit more. And seriously, we need to talk more about fanfic one of these days.
Oh my god, yeah, literally what I spent half my life doing.
Yes.
It's really nice getting to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I swear to God. Sorry.
I'm hoping to not come back on as a person, but to watch, because I need to see these scenes of why we've been collecting these Mickeys for the last 24 hours. I feel like
it's not been the last 24 hours, but it has been the bulk of your time on stream.
Have a good rest of the stream, guys. Bye.
Bye. I just can't believe that I can take selfies underwater.
Sorry, I'm still humiliated.
Why are you? What? Who's humiliated and why? What? Who? Why? Who's embarrassed and why?
I was just being an awkward parasocial gay the whole time.
I didn't notice.
Did you meet the average member of Lady Night's audience?
Great. Well, I felt like it was super noticeable.
I didn't notice at all.
No.
Great.
Rowan's watching, so just putting that out.
I thought you was gonna go and then come back. God damn it! I almost made it, and then I put my foot in my mouth.
You're fine, Ela.
If it makes you feel better, I've been in the server for a bit, and I've been watching the guests stroll in, and every time someone joins it, I know I'm like, oh no. Cool, but also, oh no.
We talked about this much earlier, I think, when Noah and...
Yeah, I think it was when Noah was around.
I have strong opinions about parasocial relationships.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just about mentality and how you approach things and the way that you separate the construct that gets created for a work and what the actual person is. And that, for me, until I've really interacted with the person long enough, I keep that mentality of they're completely separate, and then I think there's kind of a natural period of when you get to know them, there's a bit of synthesis between the two things, the two separated people, because really we only have a limited perception of anything, right? like we're always only ever seeing a couple of angles of the object and not all facets of it. And
Mark fair.
It's rare to get the full scope of a human being.
Well, I don't think it's actually possible because hell, we can't figure out the full scope of ourselves most of the time.
Yeah.
Let alone someone who can't hear our own fucking thoughts. How are they ever going to get a full comprehension of us? But obviously there's a point where you can get to a equilibrium of understanding, and so like. But the important thing is that it's not that you are approaching it from I have this parasocial version of this person and I am trying to match that to the real person, and instead it's just like interesting examining the person that is your friend and saying, oh, I'm seeing this aspect of them in their work.
By the way, I should be clear. I met Gates like I think we met, and then later Gates learned I have a YouTube channel. But also Gates is the person who gave us the incredible quote about Lev being a net positive for trans representation. Gates is one of the people I talk to about Lev.
Yeah. No, and I just
So the part where I struggle in my limited experience with the situation is that especially when it's a YouTuber and they appear to put a lot of themselves into their video, if and when I interact with them, I try to tell myself, or I've created this dynamic in my brain where I'm like, the person that they are in their YouTube video is a character that they created for YouTube, and I just assume it's a totally different person, and usually that works. But when I'm interacting with them, and it feels creepy to not tell them I've seen their videos, because it feels like I know all this stuff about them.
That's not the same thing as what I'm talking about. So I also talked about this earlier, right? I very specifically will compliment people on work they have done. Not them as an individual, because I don't know them. I can't compliment them. But I can say, hey, I really like this aspect of a video you worked on, right? Or this work that you have done. Because that's true and honest, right? I did like that work, and I did like those aspects of the work, and I don't think there's anything problematic inherently there. I don't know. I've had a lot of interaction.
I mean, Aronok, I think it's just different life experiences about who we've interacted with and where. So I do think you've had a lot of practice.
But no, I'm this is not easy. Like, it takes practice to explore that space.
I have an anecdote on this subject where, so the film school I went to was within a London film studio, which gets used for pickup shots mostly, but yeah. And one day after lunch, a friend and I were walking back to the building, and just walked past Adam Scott, and as soon as we turned the corner, so that he couldn't see us anymore, she just freaked out and was like, "Oh my god, that was Moriarty, that was Adam Scott." I was like, "Did you notice?" And I was like, and my response was, "Yeah, it was just a dude on the phone, clearly talking to somebody. He's at work.
We'll find some ingredients around here.
It's just a guy at work, but we don't know what he on about."
But I do think that maybe there's an aspect for both Alice and I of neurodivergence in the way that we interact with that stuff. Right?
I mean, I've definitely had a certain mental separation, but I do think there's also life experience stuff that lends to that more than others. So I get being nervous if you haven't had these kinds before.
Yeah. I definitely
the fact that I was literally walking in and out of film sets for 3 years. Andy Serkis's Illumination thing, its studio is just on the lot that my uni was on. It's I just saw people around, and it just became no, everyone's just at work. I am going to school, they're all going to work. It doesn't matter if I know their face, I don't know the person. Yeah, and in the same way that if you pass anyone on the street, you can give them a head nod, but that's the sort of acknowledgement that you recognize you're both human beings.
Do you think that, Aronok, I have a question. Do you think that this at all played into Ringo Bingo's motivation for
Goddamn.
Thank you.
I do think Jess has done something. I think Ringo Bingo saw so many people kind of ripping off his stuff and getting credit for it because he didn't really break into the Hollywood market that much. That he just got angry and like thought, well, if the story is that I don't exist, then I don't exist.
I love how Ringo Bingo is slowly becoming the film Salieri.
I mean, honestly, we came up with, like, the dastardly deeds of Ringo Bingo pretty early on because we decided that Luigi Bingo existed.
So, like, to be clear, the thing that he did that was harmful, like that defined the rest of his life with regret, and that he actively tried to never do again and stuff was that one act of violence.
Burning his brother's film.
You say he tried never
burn, his brother's
burned
films,
his brother's
but he
films.
dedicated a lot of the rest of his film, like his life, to preserving art, and I think
God, I can't believe how seriously we are taking this.
Aspect of guilty conscience in the way that he acted from there on.
The Ringoist of time. It was the Ringoist of times. It was the Bingoist of times.
I mean, I feel people really undersell some of the more bureaucratic crimes of Ringo Bingo, like that time he sold his likeness to the U.S. Army to make that mascot Jingo Bingo.
Fucking shit.
No.
Fuck.
No. Vetoing that.
There's also like some good things about him, like the fact that he was quite. Actors.
He was Ace.
Your voice completely cut out there, so all we got was quite
something actors.
Okay, I said there's also some good things about him, like how he called out Kubrick for like being awful to his actors.
Oh, yes.
Even when he was
apparently Ringo Bingo was incredibly valid. Wow.
I think part of his coolness with his actors comes from a place of him being Ace. Like, a lot of the worst things we hear about some directors is how they sexualize their actors, and since Ringo's Ace, that just like wasn't even.
It was never a thing. I mean, obviously that wasn't obvious much of the time, and a lot of people thought that he was perhaps closeted, and that there was an aspect of annoyance of his brother for not being closeted. But it was only later when the terminology was available to him to really describe his experience that we.
Listen, he died in 2008. I don't think Ace was in the conversation in 2008.
He was
rare.
We all have
conversations.
No, but he would always say like he's married.
Ringo had been involved in the queer spaces for so many decades at that point that like maybe he didn't get a lot of recognition from people at the time, but he was still living his truth.
Yeah, like he wouldn't say I'm Ace, but he would always do that thing that like closeted Ace people do, where they're like, "Oh, I don't really want a relationship. I'm married to my job."
God damn.
There's also like
married to his work. I mean, really, to sometimes unhealthy degrees.
There's also the fact where like he had the opportunity to break into Hollywood, but they only at the time like rom-coms were the big thing, and he just didn't really want to do a rom-com.
Unlike
it would have been intellectually
he was never
dishonest.
willing to take large budgets just for the sake of breaking into Hollywood. I mean, he had many opportunities. I mean, as we well know, he was, like Marvel was obsessed with trying to get him to work on Iron Man, and he just every single time refused.
I can't.
Yeah. That's why they got delayed so much. Because they couldn't get Ringo Bingo, so they eventually like found Shane Black. And it turned out Ringo Bingo died just before the movie came out. So like it was maybe a good thing.
Screaming "fuck Y2K" while hang gliding. We can't stress that enough.
He died as he lived, hang gliding.
While screaming "fuck Y2K."
Like
speaking truth to power.
There's two ways you can read his final words. You can either say like he was annoyed that Y2K didn't happen. Or you can like read it as he didn't like conspiracy theories and was just like fuck Y2K. Like it's a dumb idea.
Which is ironic because of the conspiracy theories that have popped up about it. I mean, there are some people that say that it was actually perhaps a connection between him and the government that created the panic around Y2K.
I'm not sure how much I believe that. I mean,
I don't believe it either. I just,
I think he'd be spinning in his grave if he knew all the conspiracy theories around his name.
Well, that's exactly
With
what
his 25-part poetry collection about he only cared about people in platonic ways, where he fights Cupid in a battle to the death. Holy shit!
I mean,
Snuggy Bum
I feel like
5!
it's a shame that fuck Y2K has become the sixth emperor tyrannus of our era. Just this thing that people talk about, divorced in context from its sayer.
Yeah.
No, it's he did die as he lived. And people don't often, like, they say that all the time, but they don't ever appreciate that that's why there were so many weird aerial shots in all his movies, because he just wanted any excuse to hop up on that paraglide.
Yeah. He really did do some unique things with aerial shots. I mean, yes, sometimes he was risking himself a little bit too much. I mean, it's ironic that he,
Wait, I mean, he was the one who gave
filmmaking. I mean, yes, he wasn't working on any films at the time. He was just out there taking photographs.
Yeah.
But he was so dedicated to his craft, and as we know from Buca de Beppo, that
goddamn.
Thank God for Buca de Beppo, the only person that Ringo Bingo ever really opened up to.
Have a lot of the film history. I mean,
can
Buca de
see
Beppo had to earn
how
that respect.
He's influenced
but
cinema over here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
No, you're totally right, Alice. His distinct influence can really be felt in very certain ways, just because these big budget directors are so afraid of Bingosian influence that you can see him very clearly. Like in The Shining, the first
with The Shining with that like aerial shot.
I mean,
and that's what called him to call out Kubrick so harshly, because he clearly just ripped off the opening from his magnum opus Antarctica Under Dark.
Oh my god.
Yeah, which was a really exploratory film. It was less about a cinematic tale and more about exploring a space through the camera.
I think Bambi is maybe the best allegory to it, because Bambi is just about nature, whereas Antarctica Under Dark is just about the longest night in on Earth. And it's just really interesting how he somehow uses color, despite the fact that it's this black and white movie set completely at night in Antarctica.
Now, here's something that nobody talks about enough. His connection to communism, because his red period, communist flags, obviously, and all that time in Antarctica, where the last bust of Lenin is, I
love how this charity stream has become the Ringo Bingo lore stream.
I'm your secret last guess.
I was frustrated.
I love that Alice.
I was
so waiting for Alice to be here, because I knew that with Alice and I can just full bullshit with straight face.
No, you and I are dangerous together. Factual videos. Because if I ever collab with you, it would just become awful.
Oh, it'd be so bad.
I should not have the reputation of a factual storyteller.
Yeah, maybe that's why he was yelling "fuck Y2K" when he died, Tender Park. He wanted people to think, why would I say that? It doesn't make any sense. I'll yell a weird thing before I'm disappeared, and then everybody will know that something is up.
Oh my god, we need to go save him. He will be 95 now, so maybe he died in captivity, but...
Oh, gosh.
Oh, no, now we're going...
He was notoriously healthy, though. Remember his veganism and all his health food stuff?
No, yeah, I will say,
if there was
now
one thing he was dedicated to...
that he didn't like, so maybe we should be more respectful and not go there.
Yeah. I mean, if there was one thing that he was dedicated to, other than filmcraft, it was his health.
Oh god.
And
he loved him some protein powder.
I mean,
it was a lot. When he would paraglide overhead, you could feel the protein powder sprinkle into your hair. The people actors on set would complain about it all the time. But he just couldn't be bothered.
I love it right now. There is Alice and I having the most deadpan conversation as if this is definitely a real thing, and then just okay in the background going, fucking holy shit.
I am losing my goddamn completely dang mind. I just can't.
I think that's really interesting. I hadn't previously heard about Bingo's relationship to communism, but it makes sense with his dedication to representing the material in his black and white films, filmed in a place that literally is black and white, Antarctica. But I also think that it's very interesting then that he brings color into that space, showing that change really is possible, even in these circumstances.
Yeah, how like the only color you get in the piece are like the flowers that like somehow still stand up in like the very southern parts of Antarctica, and that's like the opening shot because that's where you're going into this new world of nothingness. And then you occasionally see like some blood show, like bringing you back to that theme of like life within this like dead place, and then eventually like it ends with like the bust of Lenin, which still has like a sort of like frozen solid like stiff red flag,
right?
And
in
like shows that
that
communism
is
obvious,
but
yeah, like it shows that like communism is life. Like it was the only political philosophy that he saw that could actually lead to like people like having life. Whereas, like, because that's what the red clearly represents throughout that movie.
You know, I'd never noticed the flowers before, Jess and Alice, but it makes sense now because as the movie progresses, you get further inland in Iceland, closer to the pool of inaccessibility, and further from the rest of humanity.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
like,
somebody talked about the dyed snow, which I liked. I remember.
He saw flowers, which was the dream of where we could be, and then like had to go through this nothingness where it's just soaked with blood occasionally, and it's hard to get through, and gets to this like magnificent human creation, like stood in like an empty desert, with like the color that represents like the freedom that we could have.
I'm just sitting here shaking my head. This is insane. I love it. Let me be clear. I love this bullshit we're spouting. I'm just in awe of the level of seriousness that you are bringing to this right now.
I think it's serious art.
Yeah,
okay, and you're not taking it seriously. It's hurting our feelings.
Right. Can anyone see why I got an A star in art at school? You could,
you were
seriously.
Good at bullshitting.
Yeah, I got an A star when my final piece was I literally just wore white clothing in front of a white backdrop and let people throw paint at me.
God damn.
I got.
So much of like super art stuff is though just like how good can you bullshit?
That dealt me psychic damage. I hated my film degree.
Which sucks because there is a lot of interesting things that we can do with art and exploring spaces outside of traditional.
I just had really pompous film professors who would get up in front of the class and saying that film being boring can be art. I had a professor. Well, okay, aside from the fact that he asked me how I felt about being Jewish, I'm not kidding.
Oh my god.
I had to ask for time off because of a Jewish holiday that I wanted to fucking celebrate, and he asked me, "You're Jewish. How do you feel about that?" And I responded, "I feel Jewish."
Oi!
So, his final paper, which was the entire grade for the class, oh, whoops. No, sorry. The entire grade for the class was based on this one paper, and it was like 5 questions, none of which related to each other. All of them were structured like, talk about the light in Federico Fellini's 8.5 and what made it really important to cinema or whatever. Period. Discuss. I remember they all ended with the word discuss, which really, really sent me to the next level. And none of these questions had anything to do with each other, but take 3 of them and string them together into a single paper, which I had to do to pass this fucking class. And I've never been particularly good at grammar. It's never been my strong suit. So a friend of mine read over my paper to just give me some grammar checks. And she handed it back and said, "I have no idea what you said, but I fixed the grammar." And I was like, cool, I got a C. Which honestly, I'm fine with.
Can I just say, I want to now go to like Northern Canada and make a movie that opens with like this beautiful sort of like shots of like red flowers poking up through snow, and then a like combat boot just treads on it, and we cut out to this like character who's like leading a trail of explorers, and basically as
so
they're
far
going,
this sounds bomb.
as they're going through the Arctic, like that character clearly like does nothing. Everyone else does all of like the carrying the luggage and like pitching the tents and everything. But like this, they all like are clearly like bending to this person who like is leading the expedition in some capacity, despite the fact that they never hold the map, they never hold a compass, nothing. And then at some point, like some like people die because like of the harshness of like this place of nothingness. And then at some point, like the last two people alive, or like the last person alive, like kills this dude who has been like hogging all of like the rations for himself, and that's why some people have died and everything. And then even after that person's dead, this person just still continues on to the objective, and eventually finds the bust of like Karl Marx with a frozen communist flag like draped underneath it, and we just end on him like collapsing to his knees and just crying.
I think that's
Damn, Alice.
And
Go make that movie.
The last time we see color in the movie is his blood as he cries in front of the statue.
What the fuck? Damn, just go make that movie.
Can we make this movie now?
Yes.
Such a cool update on the ideas of Ringo Bingo.
Let's just examine
this. That is Ringo Bingo. Like, if we make this movie, we are labeling it as it happening and as it was made in like 1962.
Yeah.
And it was like made by Ringo Bingo.
I'm gonna have to look at a lot of essays.
A lot of words have been said in the last few minutes, and I think I've lost track of them.
No. I like this movie. I just... My brain is trying to process how I'm at the point in my life where I will make a dumb joke and like it'll turn into like a bunch of yes, your joke is amazing. Let's make a fake documentary. Also, an actual film. We should make an actual
I mean, you did get me on board on this. I'm like,
I know.
What I just did there was all off the top of my head, making it as I went along.
No,
That's the thing that I'm good at.
I cannot even right now.
Good at that kind of weird, just making stuff up as we go. Like that's what I'm good at. It's why my DMing and tabletop role-playing games is mostly improv.
I mean, if we want to make it a really good, powerful movie that is destined to get a lot of attention and publicity, we should all just grab up some nice cameras, go to Antarctica, and then when a couple of us die, it's bound to get a lot of free publicity.
I think we should do it in Canada. But I do still want to do this movie.
They'll call it Into the Mile.
Still want to die.
I still want to make this movie. No, I do want to make this movie.
Guys,
sorry, I'm just wondering how high I can go now.
I just bullshitted a really good movie. Let's go make this movie.
Let's make this movie. This is amazing. Like,
I'm gonna go write that movie now. Bye.
Yes.
I'm just trying to. My brain is still just trying to process like how I'm at a point where I'm like, so I've got. Let's just go through like some of the people that have already been like, yes, I am gonna be in this. I want to be in this. We've got Princess Weeks, Rasputin, and Noah from Polyphonic who've all been like, yes, I must be a part of this project. I am completely dedicated to this. And then everyone else in the call right now, and like a bunch of other people. Yes,
this is your life now. Welcome to your life.
Where I'm at now, that I can.
Listen, I haven't agreed yet. I'm holding out for a better contract.
I mean, what is better than Midnight Under Darkness or Under Dark?
Midnight Under Dark is just it's amazing. Like
it sounds like
Saints, I love you.
This is great. I have an idea for the opening shot you described, Alice, which is where we do have the zoom in shot on this flower being stepped on by a combat boot. What if that's filmed so that it looks like an aerial shot? Because obviously like the snow,
Baymax, I swear to God.
devoid
Yeah,
of all
Let's
features.
see.
Like you wouldn't be able to tell the scale on it until you get close to this flower and it's stepped on by the combat boot. That way you're just like completely recreating the Ringo Bingo sort of opening ethos and opening
we have
shot.
to open it with like that sort of a shining sort of aerial shot over the trees, but over like snow. Because like that was taken from Ringo Bingo's. Like if we're going to remake Ringo Bingo's like magnum opus, we have to like, you know,
We can't Gus Van Sant Vertigo this.
So like,
I don't know if that was a fake name or if that was actually a film term.
So Gus Van Sant did, or no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Vertigo, it was Psycho. But Gus Van Sant remade Psycho shot for shot in like the 2000s with Vince Vaughn, and it was bad. Everybody agrees it was bad.
So the first piece we make, right, is this documentary about Ringo Bingo's experience and life, right? But the second piece is, like the first piece can be like rediscovering Ringo Bingo, and the second piece will be remaking Ringo Bingo. And
right, remaking Ringo Bingo's
We find some ingredients
lost
around here.
magnum opus.
Yeah, and like.
And then
Part
we
of
just
me
do
regrets
it.
my
We
life
do like an
choices.
after interview about how we made the movie, but we all talk about how we were inspired by this fake person.
By this fake person that doesn't exist, and we talk about and like basically, so the first piece is about like film snobbery and gatekeeping and art, and the second piece would be more about what does remaking mean.
Oh my
And-
god.
I mean, I'll concentrate on
I'm
the
mad that
fictional
you guys
film
are
if you
more
want to concentrate on the
talented
two
in-
documentaries.
And I'm gonna talk because it's less about like.
Wait, hold on, Gates. What were you gonna say that you're mad about right now?
I'm heated. I am mad that you guys are more insightful and creative in your fucking bits than I am in real life.
Aww. I don't know.
I'm like,
But you
damn,
were
these
so
are actually good
smart.
ideas.
You said the good words about Lev, and I just fucking quoted you in the video.
Oh, I want to be clear. I'm not actually that heated. I just think that's very
Also,
funny.
thank you for the compliment.
I appreciate the compliment, but also like, I'm a bullshit artist. I'm good at it. I can make shit up
I mean,
real
I'm a
good.
writer. Like, literally all we do is make shit up.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I found a picture, a really old picture. It's the special one of Ringo Bingo paragliding in Antarctica, and I'm gonna.
Oh
put it
my
in
God.
text.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wait, hang on.
The amount of art that is. I think. You just went past it.
No, I
Look,
saw it.
We can post it when we get to 4,000.
We have several. We have a lot of Ringo Bingo content that you guys just need to get us to fucking 4,000. We've got so much Ringo Bingo content. We are ready to unleash.
I mean, I can't wait
Get
till
it. It's
next
an
year when
inside joke.
I can't wait till next year when someone takes all this Ringo Bingo content and makes it into a coffee table book.
Guys, if we make two documentaries, a feature film, and a coffee table book out of this bit, then I will die happy and quit filmmaking.
Don't quit filmmaking, Alice. I like your films.
Like whatever the fuck this is that I have invented and then put out to be reinvented over and over and over again by a gaggle of other goofy people like me.
I mean, it would be great if it becomes like a movement. Like, there's just lots of people
my
creating
God.
Ringo Bingo stuff, and it just expands this like thing. Like, we don't
Yes.
copyright him. We don't copyright him at all. We just
No.
let people.
Ringo
have
Bingo
him as
is
a
free
character that they
range.
can
How
build.
can you copyright Ringo Bingo?
Ringo Bingo, like there is a canon to Ringo Bingo, but then there's the Ringo Bingo canon in your heart, and like
And they're the same thing.
there you can make your own Ringo Bingo is my point. Like,
And now you can literally do that because he made that deal with Build-A-Bear Workshop.
Fucking shit. Fucking shit,
You
Gates!
had to wait until after he died, and somebody could sell his likeness. One of those dead celebrity management companies could buy up his likeness and own rights to it, because the alive Ringo Bingo would never allow that to happen.
Oh, of course. It's a travesty, even though it is adorable.
But I just
So that we can lug a bust of Karl Marx through the snow.
If you don't have your own bust of Karl Marx, store
October, that's a big no-no. That is an anti Ringo Bingo statement right there.
Oh, Ringo Bingo was asexual.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm gonna put some. Okay, I'll have a couple of very minor rules about.
One, Ringo Bingo is asexual. Two, Luigi Bingo is what did you say, pan?
Yes, and Buca de Beppo is non-binary. Okay, that's just how it is.
Oh, I thought Buca de Beppo. Well, okay, no, you did say trans can be non-binary.
I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with Buca de Beppo. Like was
Can they
Buca
be
de
gender
Beppo?
fluid? Like sometimes when we make the biopic about Ringo Bingo's life, Buca de Beppo is sometimes played by Thomas Dawson and sometimes played by Anne Hathaway.
So when I'm filming the film, because Buca de Beppo, we already have a planned outfit for me when I'm playing this character, thanks to Emily, which is I'm just gonna put on a fucking beret and a suit, and I'm gonna go get those candies that look kind of like a cigarette,
Cigarettes.
But they're like crunchy sticks, and I'm just gonna treat it like a cigarette for the entire set of shots until I just eat it awkwardly at the end of it.
At the very end, just
very
chomp
awkwardly.
chomp.
Just
chomp. That happens in Community. Like Troy, goes into the bathroom and has a pack of cigarettes, and Britta offers him a light, and he's like, "No, I'm good," and he just eats it.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's exactly.
Listen, we don't have to originate the bit for the bit to be good.
I know. It's just a good bit. I was just like, it's happened and it's great.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that it happened in Community before, but the bit will be a bit different because it's just about like faux, faux, I'm the more important thing of art, and I'm the big important person in this, and just it's fake, it's bullshit. This entire thing, right, is literally made up. It's like the point is the structure.
I can't wait for someone to take all of the crap that has been said about Ringo Bingo and say, "Oh,
a lot of it's been contradictory, honry.
Well, I can't wait for someone to be their takeaway to be like, "Oh, this is a takedown of auteur theory."
I mean,
it isn't not that.
Kinda.
That's where it started.
That's what it is, but I have been curating an actual canon, and there's just been a lot of joke things we've made up, but there is a consistent set of things that are not contradictory that I've been careful about, and we've already written in that I'm going to make a joke about now I know a lot of you have probably read the Wikipedia pages, but they're completely, bullshit, and here's why, and people need to do better fact checking. I mean, the fact that they completely ignore, the most important film historian, Buca de Beppo's work, who actually was able to.
I'm really, really proud of naming that film historian Buca de Beppo.
I was really proud of. So, because Lady Night was laughing too much while trying to name this character, and I couldn't understand what the name was. So that's how we ended up with the name of the lover of Luigi Bingo, Bubati Beppo. Buca de Beppo was. I was laughing the entire time.
Yeah, because Buca de Beppo.
Well, to be clear, October Oddity, it's not that Aronach is making this information up, because they're not. They've just spent a lot of time researching.
Just spent a lot of time curating what
really
information we have about
information from what's really happened.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is very important because a lot of filmmakers like to pretend they weren't inspired by Ringo Bingo in the same way that your nerdy friend might pretend that they've never seen a leftist YouTube video so they can just repeat the ideas and seem clever.
God, roast them.
I'm roasting myself. So It's the same thing. That's why nobody's ever talked about him, and we had to, dig him up and find all the information on him. And I say we, I mean Anorak.
Well, I will point out,
Aranak.
just on
Aranak?
that roast, like most leftist YouTubers also didn't come up with what they're saying. They've just like read quite widely and have like condensed all of it down into a different thought, which is influenced by all the other ones. It's like if you have watched a lot of leftist content and like have thought about all of it and condensed that down into another thing, that's just an aggregation of an aggregation of an aggregation.
Honestly. Yeah. I feel like half of my brand is just referring everybody to other YouTubers because I'm like, I can't.
And like boiled it down into his book.
I mean, very fair, but I've also definitely been that person who never recommends good YouTube channels to my friends because then they'll know that I'm not actually smart and I've just been stealing content.
Maybe.
Shit's fine.
See, I'm very much the opposite of Ray. I want people to know who has influenced me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like heavily. I think we should.
Yeah, if you're going to be intellectually honest.
I mean, I feel the same. In my short film, I literally put all of the like pieces of media that influenced the project behind me on one of the sets.
Yeah. So for me, like, I think we should be more open about who influences us and who has an effect on us, because I think to be able to make better art, you need to engage with a lot more art. Yeah, like the more art you engage with, the more you have to work with.
You guys are being honest, and I just feel like a living shitpost.
All art is iteration, and I mean that like literally all art that has ever been made in some way is iterating on things you've already seen, and that is how you create something new, quote unquote. Right. The first pieces of art that humans have ever had, right, was taking pieces of the world we'd already seen and putting them together in different ways, right? Early sculptures that combine parts of animals with humans, right? Like that is a form of art where you are taking what you have seen before and recombining it and recontextualizing it. And
yeah, like the mammoth tusk that's carved into a human with a wolf head.
Yeah, exactly. And all art has just over the human existence has just evolved off of the art that came before it. And the more successful artists
Sora.
generally
Heading into the city?
engaged with as much art as they could, right?
And
Which
not
is
just art, like as much information as well.
life, yeah, like
yeah.
And you have to keep creating too. Like that's
Oh God. You didn't say anything wrong. It's just I love, as a depressed person, I really hate it when they're like, just keep making stuff, and I'm like, oh God.
No, I find it hard to make things a lot of the time, but
also the projects that you don't finish are just as important as the ones that you do.
Yeah.
And publishing doesn't equal creation.
Creation isn't the same as finishing, right? Every time you fail to complete something, that isn't a failure in and of itself, unless you don't take it as an opportunity to learn something or do something with it.
I'm gonna say that next time somebody's mad at me for not finishing a fanfic.
God bless.
Yeah. No, seriously, do. Like, did you learn something from that fanfic? Did you get something out of it? Then give a shit about everybody else. Like,
Also, fanfic is free, and people who get mad about you not finishing fanfic when it's like literally people work their asses off for free.
It's a jokey, like, I like what you made, please make more kind of thing that's meant to be flattery. It's fine.
Okay, because I've had that happen, and I'm like, I will eat you. No.
But like I've written not fully finished, but like all the scripts, but like a lot of them I have like 2 years worth of like video essays, which I just didn't have the resources to make, so I just didn't. But like in my brain, I talk about them with people who know about them as though I did make them. as though they like were on my channel and like I've said all of that stuff publicly.
Yeah.
But I didn't. But like, so I still got everything I would have got if I had like put, $1,000 into each project and like made each one. But like, yeah.
I have.
valid.
I've been working on like a mecha RPG for like
Yeah.
a year and a half, and I don't know if that's ever going to get done. But
it's fine.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I've stopped beating myself up over how long it is taking, and just been like, look, I've enjoyed what I've done so far, and it's not like I need to make it to like make ends meet, and it's not going anywhere. So
I'm sure you've learned a lot, like, over that time as well, that you can put into future projects.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've made smaller projects since I began that have been improved by the work and thought I've put into this.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of times it's about learning process. I would say that, like, because I worked in a lot of different mediums, in a lot of different ways for art, like some of the stuff that's helped the most with my digital art was learning to do miniature painting and sculpting and all of the tool sets for that.
Sora.
Because it taught me a lot more about how lighting works in a three-dimensional object as you move that object, and capturing the essence of something, I guess. But like, and all the skills that I have for like digital art and stuff, I applied to making games and animation and things, and all the skills from that, applied to video editing and stuff when I made the video that I just released, right? And like, I only ever got to the place that I was at with all of those things because my mom's fucking amazing, and we used to do art literally every single day when I was a kid. Every day. Different mediums, different pieces, different things. Just for the fucking sake of creating. Learning, right? And it's exactly why, because my mom used to, like, when she was a teenager, she had to work a lot to pay for groceries and stuff. And one of the things that she did is she used to teach art at camps. So,
Hey guys, while we're having this talk, so I think I just finished collecting all the lucky emblems. Are you guys good if I take like a 30-minute break and just like heat up some soup or something?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean,
take care of yourself.
I mean,
Okay.
I think that's everybody in this call, so like,
Okay.
take care of yourself, please.
All right. I've just been yelling a lot, so hot soup will be nice. So.
Enjoy yourself.
You deserve soup.
Care for yourself. Enjoy your soup.
All right. I will be back soon.
We'll be here.
And a reminder to everyone watching: take your meds and drink water.
Take your meds, drink water, donate to Trans Lifeline. All right. BRB.
Wait, before you go.
Oh.
They're gone.
What?
Oh, okay. I found another picture of Ringo Bingo.
Oh shit. What?
A very old one. With the final plastic.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's
Okay, I need time to mull that over.
Yep.
I'll be back. I love you guys.
Yeah, do you want to do a quick self-care message?
So yeah, I was gonna do that. Everybody in chat, make sure that you get some water. If you've been sitting for a long time and haven't moved around, and you can, try to get up and stretch a little bit. Take any medication that you need. Make sure you take a nice deep breath and relax and let anything out. And know that you're cared about and that you're valued and that we appreciate you being here.
Everyone just stand up and do a quick stretch.
Oh yeah, if you can.
Yeah.
Oh god, I just fuck. I've very messed my
back
body. I moved my back and it just was like 4 or 5 cracks up from the lowest point of my back to the top. Oh. That was a bad crack. Oh man, no.
I'm so sorry. I just had a really good crack, so I'm enjoying this post-crack relaxation.
I'm trying to have a
green hog
but sorry, the point I was trying to make is just I mean, hell, all the code I've written, and I've written a lot of fucking code the last couple of years, has taught me a lot about writing in a weird way. All the linguistics classes I took, like, it's just keep doing stuff. Do new things, try new things, because you'll find in weird ways that every new skill you learn and every new person you interact with and new life experience you engage with will help you in the other things in your life. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being sappy, but
I think it's cute.
Absolutely. No, I was surprised to find how my experience in computer programming like translated over into helping me learn Photoshop, which is just like a very strange, like these things connect in just very weird and unique ways.
Well, it's not like you can sit down and be like, oh, like it connects in this exacting way. Like I could quantify it. Not really. I mean, yeah, all the code and UI design and stuff I've learned has got to be, subconsciously affecting the way that I interpret a user interface on a program. I'm more likely to know what the designer was intending and thus more likely to understand what the program is.
Right, absolutely.
But it's still like weird and semi-random, and I just I can't explain why working with miniatures has helped me as a programmer, but it has to a degree in a way, because the more ways you interact with the world that are unique and different, the more you can engage with the concepts you already know about, in more interesting ways. And when I was saying about like engaging with other life experiences, I mean, I just think like talking to people who had a vastly different life experiences from you, especially older people that are actually nice. No, I mean seriously, I've been lucky enough to have good mentors in my life who are a lot older, and I think it's tough for queer people because we have so little access to elders and experienced mentors in a lot of ways, because it's not just that like I don't really super want to go back to that thread of explaining all of the statistical problems with a lot of people's analysis. I explained that way earlier in the stream, so there's some people who remember when I was talking about that, but there's basically the gist of it is this: there's not a higher number of young queer people proportional to the population. There's a low number of elderly queer people because of a variety of social factors, primarily the AIDS epidemic and violence and suicide rates. That's basically the long and the short of it. I go into more depth of it in the thread that I wrote the other day, because I was annoyed seeing people sharing that garbage where they were trying to, frame the conversation in a very harmful manner. And there's nothing that drives me up the wall more as someone who has worked as a data scientist, who works in computer science, who has a deep care for data ethics, than seeing people completely misrepresent data and data analysis, and specifically doing it in a malicious manner with the intent of harming marginalized people and marginalized groups. And I just think when you get the opportunity to listen, take it. There's some words that like have really helped me in the last couple of years since I moved away to university. From my, I don't know how to describe him. I'm gonna call him my life mentor. He was the provincial head coach for rowing for me, and then he was my coach mentor when I started coaching as a rowing coach. And then I don't know, he's just just a friend and someone who I look up to a lot. And a piece of like life advice he gave to me, which is something that he said he wished he had someone to tell him. The answer is, it takes 6 months for you to really start to understand a community. You need to take the time to really, really listen and try to understand why people do things. Because you may have an idea that like the way that you do something is way better, right? And that's great, but people do stuff for a reason. And you should fully understand that reason, and fully ingratiate yourself into a community before you actively try to change that community, to make sure that you don't lose the good with the bad, you know, and that you understand the benefits and the negatives fully. And sometimes you're going to get to the end of that process and be like, this is a fundamentally broken system and it needs to change, right? And sometimes you're going to get to the end of that process and say, I have a new appreciation for why things are done in this way, that I wouldn't have had if I had held on to my egocentric view of like, well, I know what the right thing to do is and I'm just going to do it. Because you know, we are all limited by the perspective that we've built up, and the only way to combat that is to try to integrate other perspectives into our current one.
I think that's part of practice, though, isn't it? Like just listening to other people and hearing what they have to say about themselves, giving people the autonomy to solve their own problems instead of trying to come in and fix it for them.
Yeah, I think what you're kind of touching on is the aspect of provide resources and support in the way that a community demands, not in the way that you think that community should receive. This is why I'm gonna bring this back around, really fucking like Trans Lifeline. Because it's an organization that is built by trans people for trans people to meet our needs as we see fit. To meet people out where they're at and ask them what support they need, right? Trans Lifeline, unlike a lot of organizations, won't call the cops on you, won't call mental health support on you unless you want that, right? They're not going to pathologize you. They take the time to actually care about you, and more importantly, they're connecting you with someone else who has gone through these experiences and can connect with your life experience, right? And it's a really important resource, and that's also why we're all here and why we want to fund it, so that that resource could be there for people who need it. As was said by Bree, the rep from Trans Lifeline earlier, it costs about $25 per call on average. So if you want to look at the stream like that, right, like what we've raised, and a lot of these calls can be literally life-saving. That's not an exaggeration. We have raised, that's 3,800. Sorry. By 25. We've raised enough for 152 people to call in. And we can reach 4,000, right? We'll be at 160 people whose calls will be fully covered, whose, you know, staff can be paid. And here's the thing, that like all of this money goes to supporting trans people directly in multiple ways. Because the staff is trans, right, you are paying for a trans person's wage while simultaneously paying for life-saving assistance for other trans people. And I think that's a pretty fucking amazing thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it's hard to get more helping trans people bang for your buck on that.
Oh, if I may very quickly, when I came out to my family, it went very violently poorly. And I thought about just like trying to do a take backsies and be like, oh, no, I'm definitely cis. And I reached out to Trans Lifeline, and they were able to give me some resources and some I don't want to use the word counseling because that suggests a very specific thing, but they were able to give me some help of just where to go forward from that, and I am always going to appreciate that and be very happy that such a service was available to me.
Hmm.
Oh, and it's not just that mental health support either. I mean, if you want another example, Neela has talked about this a few times on the stream. Do you want to talk about how Trans Lifeline has helped you, Neela?
Oh yeah. So I hope it's not a repeat for too many people here, but I found out when I was like 30 that I was intersex. And when I was trying to get medical records from a doctor I'd had as a child, they were refusing to give them to me and putting me through the ringer. And I got put in contact with Trans Lifeline, and one of their lawyers just drew up a document real quick and was like, "Send this to your doctor, and it'll scare them, and they'll just give you your paperwork." And it worked. And I got my paperwork, which I needed to confirm because we'd run some tests, and they'd be like, "Oh, yep, seems like you're intersex." But if you were, there'd probably be some signs. Like you say you had a normal puberty, that means somebody knew when you got treatment for it as a kid. We found out that when I was the surgery that I had gotten as a 12-year-old that I thought was to remove a cyst from my ovary was actually to steal my nards. I had nards up there, didn't even know it. My mom stole them. It's fucked up. It's not even fair. Now, the dog and I have a lot in common. Same woman stole both our nards. Didn't even ask.
That's really cool that Trans Lifeline was able to help you out.
Damn an oddity. I'm sorry.
Solidarity, Corky.
I mean, that's like just an example of how trans and intersex people make better jokes about trans and intersex stuff.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a perfect example. Really,
Well,
fuck,
thank you.
I would love to see a comedy that was written by trans people.
Trans people have the best sense of humor.
Yes.
Even sometimes it's silly. Like my girlfriend, she loves to do this thing where she'll wait till I'm like half asleep, and we'll be like cuddling. And so, I'm in the headspace of like bliss. I'm cuddling. I'm in bed with my girlfriend. It's all just like, comfortable sheets and like soft skin, and she always smells all flowery. And then she waits till I'm half asleep, and then she'll use her deep voice and be like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Oh God!" I'll just like fly out of my skin, and she thinks it's the funniest shit. Because in my mind, I'm like, I'm just cuddling with my girlfriend, and it's great. And then suddenly, there's just like this very, very deep. Oh, freaks me the fuck out. And she thinks that's the funniest shit in the world.
But the important bit is that you're both in on the joke and enjoying it. It's not.
Yeah, it's just her using her deep voice to freak me out.
I feel like with trans folks, we tend to have this, I don't want to say innate, but this pretty learned impulse to be like, humor that hurts anyone isn't humor. And a lot of it's from learned experience, and a lot of it is just from the space that we occupy. Just this understanding of like, if it's not harmless, it's not a joke.
Well, I'll disagree with that very slightly, but in a very specific way. If you are punching up against a power structure, and the people in that power structure don't really like that,
you're probably doing something right.
You're doing something right. If you're going to criticize the government and politicians get angry about it, you're probably doing something right. That's a pretty good joke. But the point there isn't cruelty or harm. The point there is to point out the contradictions in the system and to punch up, to take back against the power structure that oppresses you. That is a very fucking different type of joke with a harmful butt of the joke than
and then something that's punching
sorry,
down.
I got distracted by a message from it, but then something that's punching down, because all you do when you're punching down is encourage
more punching down.
You're punching down, and you reinforce harm that's already been done. And it's like, you're not adding anything, you're not saying anything new. Like every fucking time that I have to see variation 10,000, the fucking helicopter joke. I want to punch something. Because at this point, it doesn't even, like, insult me so much for being trans as it insults me in that, like, it's
just not funny.
It's so insultingly unfunny, unoriginal, and, like, I don't know, it's just like an insult to, like, basic human interaction.
Can I just say, on that joke, I saw an example of someone using it, and somebody responded to it with, "Oh, well then you should just go into the military." Oh wait, you can't.
Yeah,
was just
savage.
I don't know. I don't know. It just made me smile a lot.
One of my
No, I laughed. I was muted because I was typing.
That's fair.
Push to talk. And my key here. I will type out a sentence just so you can understand.
No, I get it. I just yeah. I was worried I'd told a joke that everybody hated because everyone's so quiet.
I think we're just all very in chill zone vibes. I did laugh. I did laugh.
That's fine.
It was a good joke, and I think it's a good response. But it.
Yeah. But it's still somebody using a joke, which is like, mate, go away.
Yeah, and my problem with the fucking helicopter thing, and I think a lot of cis people don't get this, is that it's such a fundamentally disgusting comparison because it inherently objectifies us, and I mean literally views us as an object. Like,
yeah, it misunderstands how gender and object permanence are different.
Yeah.
And that's for joke. But the joke is sort of insinuating that we think those are the same.
And this is what's important, like when we think about this, right? Because I don't think human intelligence is the only form of intelligence that should be viewed as important necessarily. The attack helicopter is an inanimate object, is incapable of conceptualizing itself. Therefore, it can't identify as an attack helicopter. Its identification must inherently be done from an external source. So, ironically, they are misunderstanding the way that they are trying to apply, a definition to us as if we are an object, while also claiming that us identifying ourselves is equivalent to being an object. And in so doing, what they're really saying is, I don't view you as a person.
Well, I mean, like, not to sound super negative, but we kind of already knew that, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not, like, I want to be
But it is
clear.
interesting seeing it
It's not
actually
surprising,
laid out like that.
you have to intellectually lay it out and really discuss it, because, like, dismantling rhetoric means really exploring, like, what is the emotion you're expressing? What is the feeling you're expressing? When we did that piece on J.K. Rowling that I voiced, and so I usually help with the script editing process if I'm not the voice actor for Crit Facts on the video, but if I am, then my step of the editing usually occurs during the recording. So there's about like 7 or 8 sentences that were completely wholesale added, several that were removed during the recording process because of my own perspective being added in, but it's written by a ton of trans people and very, very knowledgeable trans people, as well as like input from really phenomenal researchers like Django Science Lad, which the entire video isn't like debunking facts. It's unraveling what her rhetoric is and what the purpose of it is and what the, like, because she chose a lot of very specific dog whistles in a very specific way to be as harmful and painful to trans people while appearing as polite as possible to cis people who are not going to know these things. And that is what is so infuriating and disgusting about that letter, because it takes a fundamentally hateful position and packages it with a nice little bow and some candy around it at its core, it's still a weapon. You know, you can make your weapon look pretty and all that, but you're still stabbing with it. And a
bedazzled knife is still a bedazzled knife, and it still fucking hurts.
Yeah, exactly. Like the pain's just the same, but everyone else can go like, "Oh, it looks like a toy."
I just came in for bedazzled knife.
I was explaining rhetoric and delivery and how.
Also, hi, I have supped. Are you
Okay.
ready for endgame shit to start? Because I collected all the
Sorry,
lucky
I feel like
emblems.